aware of that, and I'm looking forward already to play that round.
Can't bring it down. Price goes for goal. Oh, that's magnificent. Isaac Price has just scored a beauty to turn it around for West Bromwich Albion.
I trust my squad and I trust the players who are going to be playing on the pitch today. Trying to not get carried away.
Right footed, finds the bottom corner. It is 3-1, and West Bromwich Albion's season is off to a maximum start, it seems.
All the drama of the Carabao Cup live on TalkSport.
Nobody does it like us on the TalkSport network.
Yes, good evening and welcome to St James's Park. Sam Matthias with you on TalkSport 2. Lucy Ward alongside me as well, and we're sat right by the touchline in this great black and white cathedral on the hill. The city falling away below us, the Gallowgate starting to fill up. Away to our right-hand side, and up far away to our left, 3,200 West Bromwich Albion supporters have made the trip up from the Black Country on a work night. 22 quid ahead. It is going to be a sellout here tonight, which is remarkable really. Carabao Cup night, round 2. The holders from a couple of seasons ago against the team with the best start in England. West Brom have won all 3 games they've played this season. Newcastle are 1 game into a new life, a new head coach, a new spine, and a point off Liverpool on the opening day, which probably they deserved to turn into all 3. I was here on Sunday as well, and the tribute to their former boss was really something. Keegan's 7 across the Leesy's end, a mosaic in the centre circle, built from the scarves and the shirts that were left at the gates. Tonight's atmosphere won't quite be the same, but Toon do not do quiet, especially not in the competition that they ended the 70-year wait for a domestic trophy with. Lucy Ward is here, get the team news in just a second, but it's always special to come to Newcastle's St James's Park, and the fact that it's a sellout tonight just gives you a little bit of an example of the appetite there is for football in this city, and how well the team must be doing, because it's impossible to get a ticket for a league game.
Yeah, I mean the summer was quite disappointing, and I think, you know, Eddie Howe's leaving, lots of change, lots of players leaving, and you could forgive these fans for being quite disappointed about the new season, but I do think how they played at the weekend was really powerful in terms of the reaction to a new manager, new style of play, and you know, it was a little bit different, and they've obviously come tonight expecting, well, we've seen what he's got to offer, and you know, it looks good.
A new goalkeeper tonight, Evan Jaissle. There's a full debut for him in goal, 20 years of age, signed from Reims this summer. Nobody kept more clean sheets in France's second tier last season than him. Nick Voltemade is back in the team. He leads the line, 6'6", the big German, giving them a focal point right at the very top. No Visser from the start tonight. He is on the bench after such a good game at the weekend. And James Morrison, who has probably spent most of the last couple of weeks revelling in the fact that his team are performing particularly well, makes 6 changes from their weekend win over Burnley. Let me run through the starting 11s then. Evan Jaissle is the debutant goalkeeper for Newcastle. The back 4 is the same as the one they played on Sunday. Dedic, Chow, Botman and Hall the back 4. Stur and Willock, the 2 holders in midfield, with Murphy, Ramsey and Bazumana Toure making a debut from the left-hand side. Voltemade leading the line. On the bench, Hornacek, Cher, Bamba, Visser, Barnes, Elanga, Shaha, Neve and Lewis Miley. What about the visitors then? West Bromwich Albion, and James Morrison picking Harry Whitwell in the team today, and leading scorer Jimmy J Morgan, who's been really impressive. Matt Ingram is their goalkeeper. The back 4, Alex Williams, graduated from the academy, plays at right back. Chris Mepham and George Campbell, the centre halves. Connor Townsend is the left back. Harry Whitwell, Diakite, Zingula and Isaac Price, who's got 2 goals already this season, play behind Barney Stewart and Jimmy J Morgan in attack. Max O'Leary, their number 1 goalkeeper. Nat Phillips, formerly of Liverpool. Callum Stiles, Horn Myra, new signing. Mulumbi, Bani O'Day, Galvas, Matt Crowther and Oliver Bostock make up the bench for James Morrison and his team. You mentioned Newcastle playing well at the weekend, Lucy. what they were craving was a new holding midfield player, and as I speak you can hear the roar in the background because Nico Gonzalez comes out to an absolute bedlam roar. He's just been signed from Manchester City today for a fee in the region of about £45 million, and he's got the number 6 shirt already on his back. He's in black and white, and he's got Nico emblazoned on the back of it. I mean, look, I don't think he's had the greatest experience in England so far, but this might just be the best 60 seconds that he's had in the Premier League.
I was just about to say that, Sam. He looks absolutely buzzing, and you know, to play in front of these fans must be absolutely crazy. But his signing, quite an interesting one. They obviously need to have a player in that position with a little bit of experience. He's got the physicality, the way that Jaissle wants to play, and he's grinning from ear to ear. Lovely.
He is absolutely buzzing. He's got the biggest smile I think I've seen in a long time. He's got the biggest smile on his face since Alexander Isak scored the winning goal in the Carabao Cup final. I mean, he looks absolutely pleased as punch, Nico Gonzalez, and what an addition he will be to this team.
I think so. Do you know, technically very, very good. I think he can get what they need is legs in there. They need the legs. They've obviously lost the likes of Guimaraes and of Tonali, so they need to have to replace that. And I think he is, you know, a good acquisition. And obviously, if Man City didn't have the best of experiences there, will probably play a lot more up here.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. I wouldn't have thought. Let's hear from Matthias Jaissle ahead of the game. He's been talking about the excitement and what it's like to experience a domestic cup competition in England.
First of all, it's a big competition due to the history of the club. We are aware of that, and I'm looking forward already to play that round. Important now is first, after an hour from the final whistle, that we get the thing sorted. We analyze the game. We see the availability of the players. There were now many players who were exhausted. Some of them has minor injuries, so we need to see who's available, and then we meet together tomorrow and make then decision towards Wednesday.
Yeah, fascinating hearing from Jaissle talking about how he didn't need to have too much of an education about that Carabao Cup when he knew all about it, but he did say it's the past. The future has got to be made, and he has to look forward, doesn't he? Because they can't live in the past.
I mean, he seems to be a strong personality, and I think that's what you need. If you're going to stand on the sidelines here in St James's Park, you need to have that sort of strong character, and he certainly has that. You know, he's won in places where, you know, people probably look down on that, but, you know, in Austria he's done very, very well. He's part of the Red Bull development, so, you know, the way he wants to play is pretty obvious. And you hear some of the players, I saw something of Langus saying how exciting it is to play, because obviously it suits players like him, a bit of pace, you know, working on the break, and, you know, just energy and intensity.
Okay, this is TalkSport. We'll take a quick breath and let Lucy just get herself adjusted to the atmosphere inside St James's Park before kick-off here at around about 7:45 today, so 5 minutes away, so we've got time to get an odds update with William Hill.
In the Zone on TalkSport 2. Brought to you by Final One Standing from William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
And I'm delighted to say top man Lee Phelps joins us now. What do the odds tell us ahead of tonight's game?
Yeah, well, Newcastle are very short, Sam. 2-7 they are at home. Look, I know they're the Premier League team and they are at home. West Brom 15-2, so 7.5-1. 4-1 the draw, and Newcastle even shorter to win the tie, 2-13. Obviously, the 2-7 price is the 90-minute price. We got absolutely filled in last night, by the way. We 9 of the 10 home fabs won, loads of goals. One customer had a £3.50 ACCA boost, 20 teams in it. Took home £25,000. So we're licking our wounds a little bit tonight, but doubles and trebles activate the boost. Not as many games tonight, obviously in the League Cup. Bradford, Burnley, Tottenham, Charlton, Preston, Everton, and this one, of course. Plus the 4 Champions League games kicking off at 8 o'clock. I think it's interesting that Newcastle have made those changes. The keeper, obviously, and most of the midfield and attack. Defensively, you'd have to say a little bit susceptible from the weekend. And West Brom, I mean, look, second in the table. won 4-1 in the League Cup, 2-1 at Norwich, 3-1 at home to Burnley. They're two teams who have been touted are in the top 10 of the promotion teams in terms of the betting as well, so they're going great guns. I think they can score a goal here. I think if you're looking for both teams to score, maybe put Newcastle to win and both teams to score. I'll give you a slightly bigger price. You mentioned him, Jimmy J. Morgan, Sam. 3 goals, 2 assists. He's 3-1 to score in this match, 8-1 to score first. I'm going to go for a bet builder here. Over 3.5 goals. I think it'll be open. You look at West Brom's games so far. They've featured 4, 3 and 5 goals. And obviously Newcastle's first goal game conceded included 4 goals. I'm going to go for over 3.5 goals. Both teams to score. Morgan to have a shot on target, so not even a goal. And Joe Willock, I thought when he came on, he was really impressive at the weekend. Him to have a shot on target as well. That comes to around 4-1. You can go a bit braver than me if you want and stick Morgan and Willock in for goals. Impact sub is available as well. And with that strong bench for Newcastle, probably worth having a look at the Newcastle goal scorers, because if they go off without having scored, you'll get the sub coming off the bench to help you out and carry your bet on. But yeah, for me, Newcastle to win and both teams to score would be the pick.
Excellent, thank you very much, Lee Phelps. That was an odds update brought to you by William Hill. Get up to 200% boost on qualifying football hackers, 3% for 2 legs, up to 200% for 20 plus on selected markets, minimum 1/5 per leg, in shop and on app, account required, 18 plus, T's and C's apply. Visit gamcare.co.uk.
In the Zone on TalkSport 2. Brought to you by Final One Standing from William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
We are at St James's Park in Newcastle. Newcastle United against West Bromwich Albion, in a venue that knows all about this competition. Newcastle dreamt of silverware at Wembley in 2023. Went away with a runners-up medal. Quarter-finals 2024. Then in 2025 they realised their dream. Liverpool beaten 2-1 under the arch. 70 years of waiting for a domestic trophy erased in one afternoon. Cue the bedlam, cue the bus tour. And then actually last season a semi-final, 4 straight years, showing everyone else just how this competition can keep your hopes and your dreams alive. West Bromwich Albion, it's a different story. 5 seasons, 5 early exits. They haven't seen round 3 since 2020. And although they have had the best start in England, they have had alterations to their team tonight, which maybe could only enhance the view. And you just heard from Lee there about the bookmakers, that they are very much second favourites this evening. It is the story of one club that fell back in love with the League Cup, and another who has forgotten exactly what it looks like past August. West Brom, though, 3 wins from 3 in all competitions. They beat Norwich 2-1, Burnley 3-1, and 4-1 they beat Rotherham in the opening round of the EFL Cup. What have they got up their sleeve tonight here at St James's Park as they take on Newcastle United? And we are absolutely full to brimming here inside St James's Park. Few last stragglers coming in to take their seats. And Lucy, they've won every game so far this season, West Bromwich Albion. It's a night that has seen quite a few changes, but they'll still be hoping to try and cause a shock.
Yeah, I mean, I look at what the job that James Morrison has done. I mean, he's got no ego, and it's actually quite refreshing, really, because he's not pretending to be a fashionable possession coach, reinventing the wheel or playing unrealistically like some younger coaches. He's just come in and simplified it. 4-4-2 in a particular style with young players who like to run. He makes them run. If they lose the ball, they run and win it back. They score goals, they're creative, and they've done brilliantly at the start of this season. So this will be a test for Newcastle.
Yeah, you say not fashionable, but 4-4-2 is coming, it's creeping back into fashion a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you were listening to me, Sam, I said he's fashionable, so he doesn't want to be like everybody else. He's taken the advice of the likes of Tony Pulis and Steve Clark about managing, and he's seen managers, and I think he just does it really well.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm pleased that you're man-marking me as much as they're going to try and man-mark Newcastle tonight. They will be compact and they'll try and be lethal when it turns over, a bit like Newcastle were on Sunday against Liverpool. They have the ball deep inside their own territory, and the onus will be on Newcastle to make all the running tonight. Malik Chow, the captain, strides up to halfway, plays it out wide towards the right, and an opportunity for Dedic to get forward, slip the ball in behind for Willock, who pulls it across the 6-yard box. takes a deflection, goes behind, it's out for the first corner of the game. Dedic getting up high on that right-hand side was a feature of the play at the weekend, and he started in a similar vein.
Yeah, and they're playing a little bit different to how Eddie Howe played this Newcastle side. It's more of a 4-2-3-1. Actually, Willock was a little bit further forward than Voltemada there, so it's interesting to see how that develops as the two.
Corner to be taken far side, Lewis Hall standing over it, and George Campbell just throws something behind the goal away to our left, and that's where the West Bromwich Albion fans are, high up in the Leazy's End. West Bromwich Albion in red tonight, defending the Leazy's End in the first half. Newcastle in black and white striped jerseys, attacking the goal away to our left, and I'll run through the two 11s for you in just a second, but the assistant over on the far side not entirely happy, and it's just the delaying the taking of the corner. Now it will be taken by Lewis Hall. It's a deep one towards the far post. There's a bit of pushing and shoving, and Sturr ended up on the ground. He recovers the ball as he runs out to the opposite corner flag. It's put behind though by Connor Townsend, and it's out for the second successive Newcastle corner.
Yeah, I think West Brom have to survive the first sort of 15-20 minutes. The tempo that Newcastle we know bring out, they've already had to the second corner, just to make sure they don't concede in this early stage.
It's going to be taken by Murphy. Murphy, who was on the bench at the weekend, places the ball down on the edge of the quadrant, gets ready to curl it in right-footed. He's got Voltemada's at aim at deep at the far post. It's over his head and headed by Botman back across the face of goal. Ramsey was lurking with intent, but Harry Whitwell managed to get it away and eventually up over the halfway line, and West Brom survive a little bit of damage. It remains 0-0 here on TalkSport. Newcastle United starting with new goalkeeper Evan Jaissle in between the sticks. The right back is Dedic, Chow, Botman and Hall make up the back four. It's Sturr and Ramsey in the centre of the park, with Jacob Murphy, Willock and Toure behind Voltemada in attack. For West Bromwich Albion, it's Matt Ingram in goal. It's a back four of Alex Williams, Chris Mepham, George Campbell, the captain, and Connor Townsend. Whitwell, Diakite, Zingula and Price behind the two strikers. Here's Voltemada at the other end, skips away from one challenge, plays it to the left. Willock with a chance to shoot. It's blocked by the defender. Great defending by George Campbell, who managed to get his body in between the effort from Willock and the goal, and it's eventually defended by West Bromwich Albion. Good break.
Yeah, I mean, high tempo again from Newcastle. I thought that West Brom might sit a little bit deeper, but they are actually leaving that space in behind. Willock has been the one who's been further forward. He's switched at the moment with Toure, but I think that sort of fluidity, and Voltemada is the one that's playing in the 10 position a little bit deeper.
Willock, who's just over the halfway line, plays a reverse into Voltemada, back out to the left, and Toure in front of Willock. Willock plays the ball behind Murphy, but Dedic is going to get there and join on the edge of the area. He bounced towards the edge of the box and he's stopped by Diakite. Ousmane Diakite manages to get the ball away to safety, or relative safety, for West Bromwich Albion. Jimmy J. Morgan, one of the two strikers alongside Barney Stewart, who plays just off him, is brought to heel by Dedic's challenge, and it's going to be a free kick on the halfway line for the visitors, West Bromwich Albion. 0-0 score.
They're aggressive when they've got the ball, Newcastle, and obviously when they haven't got the ball, and it's just a little bit shell-shocked at the moment, West Brom, but they haven't conceded. They do keep conceding territory. That when Newcastle move the ball quickly, they're struggling to sort of keep up with them, but still 0-0.
Ollie Watkins and his deal to Saudi Arabia is done, according to our senior football correspondent Ben Jacobs, and that means that Nicholas Jackson is going to go to Aston Villa. Aston Villa also back in talks with Taylor Harwood-Bellis as well. All the transfer activity, by the way, available at talksport.com. Go to the transfer sections there. There's a live blog that continues throughout the course of the transfer window, and of course we'll have transfer deadline specials next week on Tuesday as the deadline passes. Newcastle United have signed Nico Gonzalez. He's not in the team tonight, but he will be come the weekend, or certainly will be in and around it come the weekend when they take on Tottenham at tea time. Here is Toure on the near touchline, getting a give and go, and then finding Willock inside the D. Willock encouraged to shoot, turns, gets onto his left foot and smashes it just wide of the post. A lovely little turn inside the D to take it away from Diakite, put it onto his left foot, then pummeled it goalwards, and certainly Matt Ingram was interested. It wasn't too far away.
He's got a great dynamic about him, Willock, and he's central, so he's involved. He had an opportunity a couple of minutes ago where he should have had a shot with his left foot, and that was not far away, that initial one, but that one a couple of minutes ago he probably would have scored because he tried to get it on his right foot, but some real effort there.
Well, that was a little post tickler, wasn't it? It was very close from Joe Willock. On the score sheet at the weekend.
It's a good start by Newcastle, actually, the energy, and it's a no-brainer here. You know, with the crowd get behind you, you've got to harness that energy, and they've certainly done that in the opening 7 minutes.
Yeah. 7 minutes gone. Newcastle United 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. Live on TalkSport 2 tonight. No goals elsewhere as it stands at the moment. Remember Tottenham taking on Charlton over on TalkSport 2. Keeping in touch with what happens with Hearts tonight as well, because 1-1 on the night there, 3-3 on aggregate. They're away from home at Rapid Vienna, but they are down to 10 players. May well end up going into extra time that game. Here is Willock back to Ramsey. Ramsey back to the far side, the right, where it's picked up by Chow. Chow back into Ramsey, who's 10 steps in front of the halfway line. Back to the left and Botman. Interesting, they've decided to play that same back four today. I think that's all about trying to get them to gel as a partnership. The two centre halves and the links on the left and the right.
Certainly, I do like Bromwich on that right hand side. Seen him in the summer as well.
Here he is again, moving up on that right flank towards the edge of the area, swings it back, it's helped towards Toure, hits it against Willock, and it's hit by Hall, and Ingram wasn't entirely certain about that. It bounced off his thighs and back into the 6-yard box.
Yeah, all the pressure is Newcastle. You know, if West Brom are putting a block out, then they'll move the ball quickly about. It's all about moving. The ball speed is very difficult to defend against, and they're getting the ball right on the edge of the area, and they've had a few chances since the opening of this game.
Well, you and I were both at the City Ground last night, and we saw Leeds United, just the tempo of them when they got the ball forward, difficult to deal with for Nottingham Forest. That tempo and assertiveness certainly unsettles teams.
Yeah, it's difficult, Sam. You know, if you're playing with energy, that costs nothing. That's all about energy. That's all about attitude, and I think that's something that Glasgow have probably been disappointed with last night. But certainly, Jaissle will not be disappointed with the start his team have made.
What was his words earlier in the week? Front-footed, aggressive, vertical.
Absolutely.
Almost given away by Mepham, but picked up by Campbell up towards Barney Stewart, who drops in tall and lean, gets it back towards the right side, and Alex Williams. He then in turn nudges it back into the path of Chris Mepham. Former Brentford player just strides into the middle of the Newcastle midfield, gives it back to Ingram, and they'll clear it away. Newcastle always been pretty adept at scoring goals. Conceding them has been a bit of an issue, actually. No clean sheet in 10 in all competitions. Here is Williams joining the attack for West Brom as they come forward for the first time. It's picked up on the right by Harry Whitwell, who's dispossessed by Lewis Hall, and then Whitwell stops him from being able to clear. It's an interesting one, Harry Whitwell. It's a good start to the season. Scored his first championship goal against Burnley at the weekend. He's an academy kid. They are actually looking at trying to sort out his contract because it runs out next June. He's certainly one that they'll want to keep.
I mean, you've got Whitwell, you've got Morgan, you've got Price, absolutely fearless, and that's what you want, particularly in the Championship. This has been a test for them the opening minutes here, but they're just finding the feet a little now.
Diakite has nabbed it. Whitwell takes on Hall, beats him, gets to the edge of the area, sets it back for Jimmy J. Morgan. He ran into a bit of traffic there, but has managed to keep it alive. Diakite right-hand side, produces a cross deep to the far post. Dedic will see it behind. It's out for a West Bromwich Albion corner. Their first of the game.
Absolutely, and as soon as West Brom then got ball and that sort of steady possession, they got bodies up the pitch, bodies around the area, and keep a hold of it, and actually struggled to deal with that cross there. Dedic put it away for a corner. He probably could have had a shout.
11 minutes gone. Newcastle United 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. This is TalkSport live at St James's Park. Corner in front of the Gallagate, deep to the far post. Mepham with a header, back across the face of goal. Chow was there to head it further clear. Mepham sends it back again, bit of head tennis going on between him and Chow, and eventually from the edge of the area, Toure manages to get it further away from danger, but it comes back on the left. Whitwell with a low cross, spooned up into the air. It bounces out onto this near side. Sorry, it was Price with the cross and Whitwell who chased it out for a throw-in on this near touchline. Those two young players who've made such an impact play on the flanks for West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about running for West Brom. It's the first time really they've got a foothold in the game and playing the ball forward, but it's a 4-4-2. They always run beyond. They've got legs in midfield, and it works.
Hearts have taken the league in the second leg of the playoffs in the UEFA Conference League. They lead by 2-1. Calvin Miller with the goal in the 101st minute, so in extra time. They lead by 2-1. Here is Price picking the ball up from deep for West Bromwich Albion. Sends the ball into Jimmy J. Morgan, gets it back, tries a shot, takes a deflection, it's still alive. Whitwell keeps it in the air and it's headed down by Stewart. Only to go beyond the line and out for a goal kick away to our right. But it's taken them a little while just to find the feet and find the tempo of the game. But West Bromwich Albion have just started to take their first tentative steps into Newcastle territory.
Yeah, I mean, what they tend to do with their game plans under Morrison is they play what's in front of them. They don't do the same every time. They can play if the opposition gives them space, but most of the time it's about getting the ball up the pitch, getting bodies around, and then little combinations, and we've seen that already the last couple of minutes.
Big switch by Botman, but to no one in particular, and it ends up in the left fullback position of West Bromwich Albion, and they look to build from the back. Albion barely lose these days. They've won all 3 this season. It's 1 defeat in their last 14 going back into last season. He's done a brilliant job, James Morrison, and his team are on the front foot here with Zingula getting to the edge of the area. Jimmy J. Morgan gets it onto his right foot, shoots low, blocked by Chow, comes back to the edge of the area. It's cracked goalwards by Isaac Price, and then it bounced into midfield. Campbell stops Voltemada from escaping, and he does really well actually, Campbell, despite the presence of the big 6'6" blonde-haired German. And it's a free kick just right of the centre circle, given by Bobby Madley, the referee.
You know, momentum's crazy in football. Newcastle had everything the opening sort of 10 minutes, I would say. West Brom have come into it and it's just quietened this Newcastle crowd down. They realise that West Brom have got something to offer, whether they've got the quality enough to beat Newcastle, but they'll certainly have a go.
Win tonight and it'll be 4 from 4, and they haven't started like that in all competitions since 1947, Luce.
The year of your birth.
You were playing. Tomorrow night, 7:30, Chelsea versus Luton is live on Talk Sport. I'll be there with Leanne Sanderson tomorrow, and Brighton Tromso from the Conference League playoff second leg is live on Talk Sport 2 tomorrow. That's also a 7:30 start tomorrow. We'll keep you in touch with that. Crystal Palace Manchester City's on Friday night as we get our Premier League underway. Ball into the box from the right hand side from Newcastle. Almost fell to Voltemada, but was half cleared by Meppen, then smuggled behind eventually after pressure from Toure, and it goes out for another corner. Chelsea have come from behind to lead Real Sociedad in the Champions League playoffs. Chelsea women 2, Real Sociedad 1.
Good start to this game, good energy. West Brom have had their mark in it last couple of minutes, but Newcastle now with a corner got themselves back at the other end of the pitch.
Newcastle 0, West Brom 0. The corner to be taken by Jacob Murphy away to our left. It's a crowded penalty box. There's a bit of space to run into here for Botman, who comes towards the near post. It's a little bit high for him. 2 red shirts go for the same ball. They glance it out to the far side. It'll be a throw-in down by the corner flag on the opposite side of the ground from us. We are about 5 rows from the front. We're sort of almost sitting on top of the roof of the dugouts, right on the halfway line. In fact, I think Lucy's left foot is in one half and her right in the other. So
I've never ever done a game from this position here.
Have you not?
It's great. It's a great view.
Yes, it's quite low down, isn't it? But we're very close to the action. You get to see the speed of the game. Because I forgot that you're usually a posh television person now, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you're a bit further back. Here, the ball has been played to Toure over on the far side, short from the throw-in, which has now been taken in the corner flag area. It's back to Hall, and then infield to Botman, and then Sturr picks it up just in front of the centre circle for Newcastle in those black and white striped jerseys, which are, I think, a little bit unpopular. Let's just put it that way. Not as popular as the usual home jersey.
But close up, I agree with that. But from far away, they do just look like a normal black and white stripe. But yeah, they are a bit whizzy.
Yeah, you get up close to it and you start. What you don't want to do is wear one in Tesco's, because it just starts beeping. That little machine where you do the self-checkout.
Barcode, you mean? Yeah.
I didn't want to say it. That's what they get called by Sunderland fans.
Oh,
You're not really allowed to say it.
Oh, sorry. I wonder why everybody's staring at me.
No, it's not that. Williams gets it back to the goalkeeper. Ingram starts to move forward with it. You're listening to the Carabao Cup on TalkSport with Sage, the official counting software partner of the EFL.
It's interesting, West Brom's two strikers are playing quite wide apart. It's just causing a problem for centre-backs. It means that Lewis Hall is having to pick up Stewart. And we've also got Whitwell on this right-hand side as well, so it's quite clever positioning from the two young forwards.
It's great to see so many young players coming through and playing in this competition. You worked with the young players at Leeds for a long time, didn't you? And it's nights like this where they get their opportunity to make their mark and they relish it. Stir forward up towards Willock. We'll get you to talk about that in just a second. The offside flag is up, so you can.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have any fear. The fear is amongst sort of staff members, their families, when they're watching them and having their debut. The kids themselves just tend to just go into it with so much enjoyment and lack of fear, which is terrific.
Ball on the edge of the area, deep inside Newcastle territory. Stir plays it square, and there's a little bit of a mishap for Ramsey. Ramsey loses the ball to Jimmy J. Morgan, and that's a poor tackle by Stir. And he's going to be at least spoken to by Bobby Madley. He might get a yellow card here. He does. No VAR tonight. Just worth pointing out, but that was a definite yellow card for what was a late challenge on Jimmy J. Morgan.
Yeah, he really went into the front of his foot. He had his hand in the air as well. That is certainly a sore one. Just couldn't lift his feet up quick enough to evade the challenge from Sturt. I hope he's all right. He is actually just hobbling away, so hopefully it is. It was from the front rather than going over on his ankle sideways.
Free kick then taken from about 7 or 8 yards outside the penalty area, right, so maybe a little bit more than that actually, 8 or 9, and it's going to be Townsend and Price who stand over it. Mepham's at the far post, Diakite just moving into the centre now, Zingula just left of the D, waiting on the edge of the box if anything pops out. Whitwell's gone down the right hand side of the box. I think looks like Price is going to whip this in right-footed. Newcastle with a line right on the edge of the penalty area here, and eventually they do send it in towards the near post, and he's straight into the back of the net. Isaac Price has caught out the goalkeeper. He was looking towards the far side, teeing up across into the box. He caught the goalkeeper making his debut, Evan Yowan, completely out. Down at his near post, he was exposed, he went down late, he got a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. And West Bromwich Albion of the Championship, who won every game they've played so far this season, are ahead at St James's Park. Isaac Price again.
What a goal this is, what a free kick. So he sets up Price as if he's on the right hand side of the goal, as if he's just going to float the ball in. Everybody gets ready, the goalkeeper is fooled by it, and he just slams it low and hard and curls it round into the near post, which he really wasn't covering. I mean, it's such a clever free kick from a young man with so much confidence. What a goal that was.
Yeah, third goal of the season. They've started talking to him about a new contract. They better get him to sign it very quickly, because he is in brilliant form. 2 against Burnley, a curler from outside the box just a minute after half-time. He took a penalty in that game as well, and now he's scored a brilliant free kick at St James's Park in the Carabao Cup to put Championship West Bromwich Albion 1-0 up against Newcastle.
Well, they had grown in confidence, hadn't they, Sam, over probably the last 10 minutes or so, I'd say, of this first half, after being really under pressure from Newcastle at the start of the game. And you could just tell, they're a team that are used to winning. So once they got themselves established and started passing the ball around, what an unbelievable free kick. I feel a bit for Jowan, actually, in debutant in goal for Newcastle, because he really was caught out thinking that the ball was just going to float across, somebody was going to head it, and he was going to get it easily, but instead he's picking the ball out of the back. In fact, he ended up in the back of the net with the ball.
He did. Newcastle trail by a goal to 0, and they couldn't quite find Voltemada there, who has got it now on the halfway line. Then he's dispossessed by a rather robust challenge from Rabi Zingula, and the free kick is given in the Germans' favour just before the halfway line. 21 gone, Newcastle United 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Isaac Price after 19 minutes with the goal, and that has put West Bromwich Albion in the ascendancy here That just gives us an even better game, I think, the fact that the Championship side have gone in front first, because it draws Newcastle out even more.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just a really nice way of playing. 4-4-2. They all run about and try and win it back if they've not got it. They get back into a shape that is difficult to play through in central areas. They leave the wide free and allow Newcastle to have it there and then go and press. But it suits all the players. It's not too complicated, and that's what I'm talking about. As soon as you simplify things, it makes it easier for footballers.
Picked up by Ramsey on the edge of the area as they try to play out from the back there. Whitwell couldn't get his clearance any distance, so Ramsey's got it back again, midway inside the West Bromwich Albion half. They're just retreating into shape now, into that 4-4 and then 2, as the ball slips down the side. Good defending by Diakite stops them from going any further, Newcastle. And now Jimmy J. Morgan brings the ball out on the far side. The left is hugging the touchline, nudges it infield, gives it to Price, the goal scorer, with his third of the season tonight, and his third in 4 days, really. I mean, he's had a brilliant couple of days.
I mean, West Brom can play anyway. They could play sort of high intensity, high up the pitch, but also do what they did against Norwich, sit back and then, you know, beat them late. Defensive block, work on the counter. They're not really now leaving that space for Newcastle to counter, which is obviously how they like to play.
It's the only goal in any of the games tonight, 3 of which kicked off at 7:45. The Preston-Everton game's only just got underway. That's 0-0. Bradford 0, Burnley 0, and Tottenham 0, Charlton 0 on Talk Sport. Here on Talk Sport 2, West Brom lead away at Newcastle by 1-0. And it's West Brom who coming forward on this right-hand side. Williams travelling infield from the right touchline, midway inside Geordie territory, up towards Campbell. Campbell hands it off to the left. Murphy dispossesses Connor Townsend, but then Campbell wins it back again. The 4th official having a word with Matthias Jaissle, who on Sunday, I was sitting here on Sunday, exactly the same position, and he was proper going full Arteta outside of the old technical box. He was halfway down the touchline at times, and he's been doing the same thing again today. He wasn't actually pulled up for it that much on Sunday, but the 4th official tonight, Ben Toner, just a little bit more officious, has asked him to just calm it down a little bit. 24 gone. This is Talk Sport. I mentioned that Friday night we got that game between Crystal Palace and Man City. It's Liverpool-Nottingham Forest on Saturday. Fascinating game that'll be. Adrian takes you round the grounds with Scott Minto and Mark McGee from 2:30. We've got Bournemouth, Everton and Coventry Hull around that time. West Ham playing Watford 3 o'clock Saturday. That's live on Talk Sport 2. And then Game Day Live on Sunday. I'll have the fastest goal service. And I go around the grounds with the Premier League EFL, including Chelsea versus Brighton, Leeds, Brentford and Sunderland versus Fulham on Sunday. And then Monday Night Football, Villa against Arsenal. We're live at Villa Park from 8 o'clock.
Are you having a day off? Just any point.
Tuesday. Yeah, defo Tuesday. Is that all right with you?
Yeah. Fine by me. Tell you what though, Sam, Newcastle just bothered a little bit by that goal for West Brom. You know, they were flying the first 10 minutes, but sometimes when you're on top, you need that goal at the end of it, and the fans were willing it to happen the opening 10 minutes. It didn't for Newcastle, but they still weren't panicking, and then West Brom get their foothold in the game, create something, score a goal, and all of a sudden now more is expected of Newcastle.
And they come forward down the right. It's picked up by Dedic, who's trying to drive them forward. He's done that. Ramsey's picked it up on the edge of the area from Toure. It's gone back wide to Murphy, who's on the right angle of the penalty area, trying to get into the box. A low cross, which is steered behind, and it goes back out to the far side and away for a corner kick.
Well, that's the space. The space is wide. West Brom are like, right, if you can have it wide, we'll let you have it there, and then we'll close you down. Just trying to stop that central area, most dangerous area in front of the edge of the box.
Well, so far it's those 3,200 supporters of the Baggies that have come up from the Black Country that are enjoying their evening as the corner comes in and it's headed away by Whitwell, and then a free kick given away by Morgan as he pushes Murphy in the back. 14 flights of stairs to get to the away end at St James's Park, by the way.
I've done it.
Have you?
Yeah.
See, it's 22 quid to get in, but the cardio's free.
I went back down in the lift though. I should have done it the other way, shouldn't I?
Probably.
Been better.
Free kick far side. And Murphy to take it for Newcastle United, who have 6 on the edge of the box, ready to try and pounce and get back into this game. They trail by a goal to nil. It's flicked in by Murphy towards the near post. It comes off of Voltemada's head, and then it's scooped back by Willock, who tried to keep it in, but the offside flag was up anyway, and it's in the arms of Matt Ingram. Chelsea women have gone back in front. Melvin Mallard has scored against Real Sociedad. They lead by 3 goals to 2.
James Morrison is going to be very, very happy with how his team have responded. Like a rabbit in the headlights for probably the first 6 or 7 minutes of this game, but then they got themselves passing it. And now an even keel, but momentum again switches between the two teams on a minute by minute basis.
Yeah, Newcastle on the front foot now with Ramsey back to Hall, just struggling to clear their lines a little bit here for the last few moments. West Bromwich Albion. Ramsey has it middle of the West Brom half, left hand side, being chased by the effervescent Jimmy J Morgan, signed for £4 million from Chelsea in the summer. Chelsea made sure they got a sell-on clause. Ball into the near post from the right, looking for Voltemada. His heavy touch falls to Diakite. Lovely little pull and drag back by Zingula to get Diakite away, and he helps it out towards the far side despite the pressure, and Whitwell goes up over the halfway line. On to Williams, who's joined him in the attack. West Bromwich Albion come forward down the right-hand side. Shuffled back by Williams into midfield. Diakite's got it now, and he's just in front of the centre circle. Confident play whenever they're on the ball as well for West Bromwich Albion. Some good footballers, good technicians in there as well, isn't
They've got a good foundation. They've got legs in midfield. Diakite and Zingula, very, very good. They're getting about Newcastle, but then they've got the technical players with a little bit of craft up front.
Another little tuck by Zingula out towards Price, who charges forward with the ball. The goal scorer releases it into Townsend, back towards the edge of the area. It's taken on by Price again. Now Whitwell's got it. Back to Price, left side. Those two, both tall, rangy, and sort of mid-length hair that flows in the wind. Both of them wearing long-sleeve West Bromwich Albion away shirts, all in red today, and leading by a goal to nil. Back to the left, and Townsend into the box, looking for Barney Stewart, who rose high but couldn't get hold of it. And when it comes out to the edge of the area, Zingula's effort is blocked by Joe Willock. Still not clear by Newcastle. Toure with a header away. Again, West Brom win it back and send it forward. Mepham, halfway line, just right to the centre circle, travels forward, but they are not phased, are they, by any sense of the imagination?
They're passing a phase of play when they get forward.
Jimmy J Morgan on the turn on the edge of the D, trying to drive the ball forward, but just dragged it a little bit and it goes wide. And there's a little bit of frustration, I think, from the Newcastle fans.
They just know, those two up front know where to go. They just drop a little bit away from the centre-backs, and centre-backs don't step out and engage, and then enough time to just turn and have a shot. Morgan's shot wasn't as good as it could have been, but again he finds the space.
It's West Bromwich Albion who lead by a goal to nil, all thanks to the free kick which beat debutant goalkeeper Evan Jowan and his near post from Isaac Price.
He'll be gutted, Jowan. He'll be trying to get it out of his mind now, the goalkeeper. Started all right and then he's been fooled by a youngster.
Murphy plays it square. Willock wasn't on the same wavelength. Whitwell nabbed it, and now they come forward. Price is fouled as he tries to escape. The referee didn't give it though, and it's play on. Stir drives Newcastle forward, down the right, towards the edge of the area is Dedic. The fullback tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked by Townsend. Back there to help out Barney Stewart, who whacks the ball towards halfway, but Malik Chow sends it back with interest. We're about to hit the half-hour mark on Talk Sport 2, where it's Newcastle United 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Newcastle trying to find a way back in. Actually, one thing they haven't done is force Matt Ingram into a save yet.
No. And they've had a lot of box activity out wide, getting the ball in there, but it's been defended well by the West Brom defenders.
Hall, left side, Toure. Back infield it goes to Botman. Now Stir, once again. He himself not the oldest. Ramsey tries to drive past the defender, gets to Voltemada, who looks for a flick. It's too fancy, and there's more frustration from the Newcastle crowd, because although the idea was right, if you're going to do something like that, it's almost got to come off. There was too much of a deadlock behind him.
Listen, there's too many bodies there. I mean, they defend the edge of the box very, very well, West Brom. They're quite happy to sit back, and there's a lot of times where they move very well as units. They move up the pitch as a group. They don't really leave any gaps. What Liverpool did on Sunday for Newcastle to exploit, they haven't done that yet.
Willock who scored in that game on Sunday. Sends it wide to the left, the low cross from Toure, defended by Chris Mepham, headed down by Botman, who gets in front of his marker, tries to turn it round the corner, and then it's with Toure once again. Back to Hall, looks up, plays it across, looking for Stur. He's only 18 years of age, Stur. Costs 23 million from Ajax. Out to the wide right position, Dedic with a cross, comes all the way through to Toure, who gets it down off his chest and shoots low, but it bobbles off the ground and into the arms of Ingram. It's a decent effort from Toure.
Yeah, good touch and an effort, really troubled Ingram, but the crowd behind, Newcastle fans just encouraging a new signing, Toure.
Yep, 20 years of age. He was acquired for £43 million from Hoffenheim, the biggest fee of Newcastle's summer so far. Well, maybe until all the add-ons are sorted out for Nico Gonzalez, who they paraded just before the start of the game here. And he's almost got a sort of brief to try and fill the boots of Anthony Gordon. He plays on that left-hand side. He is rapid. But Harvey Barnes has got an interest in that position as well. Here's Hall moving up to the edge of the area, plays it onto the left, and chance for Willock to cross. He does that. It's too high for Voltemada, so it must have been pretty high. And it comes out of the area, and then Stur tries to bring it down. And Jimmy J. Morgan doesn't give him an inch, and then Ramsey shrugs him off, plays it to the right, gives it to Murphy. Murphy into the penalty area, cut back by Dedic, looking to try and find Ramsey again, but a cross comes to the defender. It's cleared away by Rabi Zingula, and it's out for a throw-in over on the far side for West Bromwich Albion, who lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, they're working very, very hard, all 11 players. West Brom 10 outfield players running about, closing down, and it's times that they defend in full tilt. You know, it's right at the edge, but still managing to keep Newcastle out, and they're defending very, very well. In fact, they're doing everything particularly well. The Championship team were obviously full of confidence.
Champions League playoffs tonight. Dinamo Zagreb lead away at Viking Stavanger. AEK Athens are 2-0 up. Luka Jovic has scored there. Remember him?
Yep.
At Real Madrid after a brilliant season in Germany. Didn't quite work out anywhere else so far, but he's on the score sheet tonight. Hearts look like they're going to go through to the Conference League proper. They're leading away in Vienna by 2-1, but West Brom lead here, and that's the headline at the moment, as Toure goes down the left-hand side and puts the ball straight out of play. Oh, Chelsea women leading Real Sociedad now 4-2. LJ, Lauren James on the score sheet once again. Newcastle United behind though, and if you speak to Newcastle supporters, I think they were pretty buoyed by what they saw on Sunday. I mean, I think it was rather fueled by the emotion and the atmosphere here. It was quite emotional because of the tributes to Kevin Keegan, but also Alexander Isak coming back just lifted everybody, got everybody on top of Liverpool from the very start. Different type of atmosphere tonight, and more expected of them tonight.
Yeah, I think so. And Newcastle want a transitional game, so they come to life when they regain the ball and they attack space in behind. West Brom are not giving that space up in behind. They're moving very well as units. They're recovering well as a group. So they're not really having that chance to get that pace in behind. And all of a sudden, then you've got to work out how to close down or get past a lower block or a defensive block, which is not what Liverpool did on Sunday. They gave them the space.
The ball was bobbling around in midfield. Willock took control. And it's nudged back to Chow, and they move it out over on the far side as Rapid Vienna equalise in the final minute of extra time. Hearts pegged back. They're going to go to penalties. Murphy on the right edge of the area guides it back to Chow. Chow, the captain, back to Murphy once again. Newcastle's attack is slowed on the edge of the box because West Brom got men behind the ball very quickly and reacted to the Newcastle counter-attack. Here's Willock though, trying to weave his way into the area, comes through to Toure, back to Willock, can't get it out from under his feet, all a little bit too intricate, no one ready to pull the trigger, and that's why you hear the groans around St James's Park.
Going to shoot. Now there was plenty of times there where Willock or Toure have a shot, and when you have a shot it makes West Brom defend differently. They have to come and close you down, and that's when the gaps open up, and that's when you can do your 1 and 2 touch round, but at the moment they're stood firm.
It's also unsettling, isn't it? A shot comes in, it can go anywhere, it can come off the goalkeeper, spill into the air, you don't know where it's going to fall. We saw last night, a long throw into the box, someone has a go, and all of a sudden there's a scramble on the goal line. Tonight you can have your say on all of the evening's action. The sports bar open for business from 10 o'clock. It's Jason Cundy and Charlie Austin on air tonight. 03717 22 3344. Jamie O'Hara not coming because Tottenham are playing? Is that right?
Are you asking me? I've got no idea. He probably is, isn't he? Oh, I didn't want him just in case they don't win.
That's what I mean. Botman across to Sturr. Nudges it forward into Ramsey. And the ball turned out towards the far side. And Murphy now moving up towards the right edge of the area. Produces a cross in towards the near post. It's headed away by Campbell. Comes out towards Willock. Can't get it under control. Price is back there to help out the goal scorer. He kicks it up towards the halfway line. Sturr puts it out. It's a West Brom throw inside Newcastle territory. And West Brom lead by a goal to nil. The goal coming from a free kick taken by Isaac Price on 20 minutes. Caught the new goalkeeper Evan Jowan out. And as a result of that, the Baggies have the lead.
Yeah, it's a competitive game as well. Let's say Morrison will be very pleased with his players. They've settled really well, they've got the goal, and they're quite happy defending a little bit deeper, using the chance to go forward if Newcastle allow them. Newcastle just haven't quite figured out how they can create something on the edge of the box yet.
They've got the ball over on the far side. Campbell almost made a mistake. It's gone out of play for a throw-in, and Baltamada wants to get it moving quickly. He does that by throwing it into Murphy. Murphy picks the ball up and then plays it square. It's on to Ramsey. Ramsey now sends it out wide. Picked up by Dedic. Dedic gets to the edge of the area, cuts in, took maybe one too many touches, but Murphy has got back on side. The ball to him was poor, and that allowed Townsend to come across, mop up and clear from the left full-back position. Still 1-0 to West Brom.
It's the right idea, Sam. You know, full-backs just overloading in the wide areas. Wide men, can they beat the player 1v1 and get the ball into the box?
Dedic does get the ball into the box, and Toure is there. He cuts across the goalkeeper and nudges it in. Bazumana Toure scores on his debut for Newcastle United, and Dedic, who may not have delivered the best ball the last time he got into that position, certainly did on that occasion. A beautiful ball in from the right-hand side from Amar Dedic, and the Bosnian put it on a plate for Toure, who couldn't help but tuck it home in front of the goalkeeper. And Newcastle are level. It's Newcastle United 1, West Bromwich Albion 1.
Yeah, I mean, I said about getting the ball wide, full-backs overlapping, overloading, getting down that either side, right or left, but just making sure that there's somebody on the end of it. They've done it a few times, to be fair to them, haven't they? Dedic did really well. Ball comes across and he's right in front of goal. You've got to be in the right place. Toure, he couldn't do anything really but get that in the back of the net. I don't actually know what he got on the end of it, but he was there, and that is the most important thing, and just sent it into the corner. And it's a great start for him.
£43 million from Hoffenheim in the summer. He is a creator first, 9 assists last season. No Hoffenheim player managed more than that. He didn't get on the pitch at the weekend, but he's certainly on the pitch tonight, and he has made his mark. A debut goal for Bazumana Toure, the Ivory Coast player.
That's what Jaissle want as well. So your left midfielder gets in the box. So your left-sided forward gets in the box when the opposite side have it.
Willock thought that he was fouled there by Campbell as the ball turned over deep inside the West Bromwich Albion half. It's moved up over the halfway line now with West Brom in possession, and Jimmy J. Morgan, the slight fair-haired attacker, plays the ball infield to Diakite, and then it's worked wide towards Whitwell. Whitwell tries to nudge it back infield to Zingula, and West Bromwich Albion just trying to get hold of the ball again, but it's given away in midfield by Diakite, and then Willock trying to get away. Diakite, frustrated, pulls him to the ground. That's going to be a free kick just in front of the centre circle. We got 5 minutes before half time. It's Newcastle United 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Elsewhere, Bradford 0, Burnley 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Charlton 0, and Preston 0, Everton 0. We're in the best game then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a good game actually, good to watch, but I think West Brom have shown already this season that they've got that resilience coming from behind to win in league games, not fazed by the fact that Newcastle have pegged them back, so it'll still be competitive all the way through, and Newcastle just found a little bit of quality that they needed.
Well, James Morrison always good at keeping a very level head. He said it's going to be a long, hard season with ups and downs. That was after Sunday's 3-1 victory over Burnley. They've had the perfect start, really. And after saving them from the drop last year as the caretaker, embarking on his first period as a permanent manager in charge of West Brom, he was looking forward to coming here. He was excited about coming up to St James's Park and testing himself against the Premier League team.
There's a real clarity with the way that the West Brom players play. The game plan pretty simple, but they just allowed that little bit of freedom to show that, like, particularly the technical players further up, the wide players, the young wide players, Whitwell and Price, as soon as they get it, show what you can do, particularly in those forward areas. They don't play for the sake of it, they play in the right areas, and they're looking good.
Here is Williams on the right-hand side, guides it back to Zingula. Quite like the look of him, Rabig Zingula. £2 million from Strasbourg, 3-year deal, 26 foot. And when Morrison was describing him, he said he was unbelievable.
Yeah, they've worked well, him and Diakite in the middle. They've got about Newcastle, not given any space to thread any of those balls through, and just got legs and energy.
Up the ball goes towards Jimmy J Morgan, but couldn't occupy Malik Chow on that occasion. And it goes all the way back to the edge of the 18-yard box. Tierno Barry got the first goal at the weekend for Everton. He's got the first goal tonight. It's Preston 0, Everton 1 in the Carabao Cup. Tierno Barry will be happy with a 2-goal return at the start of the season. And no confirmed goal scorer yet. Oh, it's Mikey Moore who scored for Tottenham Hotspur. I thought he was going to go on loan, Mikey Moore, but he came off the bench on Saturday, and he's got the opening goal tonight for Tottenham. They lead by a goal to 0 against a much changed Charlton over on TalkSport. Here it's 1-1. Newcastle United getting back into the game after West Brom took the lead, and West Brom have the ball on the edge of their own penalty area with Meppen, then Williams, who's engaged by the goal scorer Toure, exchanges passes with Whitwell and then emerges with it. Williams then plays it back out wide to Whitwell, who gets into a bit of space down the right side of the penalty area, gets to the byline, produces a cross into the near post, stabbed away by Botman, and then Hall will just hold on to it, shows his strength and gives it back to the Dutchman, who clears from inside the area, or attempted to. It took maybe a little bit too long in doing so because he couldn't find the option in front of him. And it was straight in the end at Barney Stewart, goes out for a throw in the left full-back position.
Yeah, Harry Whitwell is causing problems for Lewis Hall, who I think is very, very good, probably one of the best left-backs in the Premier League. It just shows you that players get their head up, technically good with the ball at their feet, and just deliver the ball into the box, and both Whitwell and Price can do that.
Murphy for Newcastle, trying to establish a first-half lead here. Didn't quite manage to get away from Isaac Price, who nicks it, turns it over, confidently runs up over the halfway line, just left of the centre circle, nudges it on into the path of Jimmy J Morgan. He plays it square to Price once again, and it goes back to Diakite. Wide on the left is Connor Townsend with a cross in towards Jimmy J Morgan, who stabs towards goal. Goalkeeper came out, didn't get much on it. Jimmy J Morgan went down, the ball didn't quite edge towards the goal as he was hoping, and it was cleared away eventually by Lewis Hall. It's out on this near side, I think, for a free kick right by the touchline here because of a Lewis Hall challenge on Whitwell. But that was an opportunity, and Jimmy J Morgan took a bit of a whack.
Yeah, I mean, he went across in front of Jow and tried to get across in front and get a touch, but I'll tell you what, they've just so much energy. They're quite infectious, these younger players for West Brom. No fear, I think that's the key thing. Full of confidence and belief in their own ability, and getting the ball in, and Morgan will go for it.
He's a lively character, isn't he, Jimmy J Morgan? Chelsea paid Southampton £6 million for him when he was just 17. Sold him on in the summer for £4 million to West Bromwich Albion. He's repaid them with 3 goals already, and he is a live wire. He's buzzing around at the front of that formation. There is 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half, and another free kick on this near side, this time taken by Townsend into the box. Barney Stewart with the header, but he couldn't really angle it to where he wanted, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a good ball in, but West Brom didn't really respond. Crowd just trying to get Newcastle going in this last minute before half time. They've got themselves back on level terms, but really haven't seen the dominance that we saw in the first 10 minutes. Newcastle haven't regained that sort of confidence yet in the first half.
Yep, 30 seconds before the end of the first 45. Newcastle coming back from the goal down to level things up through Toure, who's now in possession just midway inside the West Brom half, down the left. Challenged by Whitwell, goes out for a throw. Lewis Hall comes out to take it. Lots of rumours about his future over the course of the window, but he's still here and still playing. Started the game on Saturday and starts the game tonight, and he's not the kind of player you'd want to lose, and this is not the kind of game that you'd want to lose, and neither clearly do. Level at the break at St James's Park. The goal coming in the first few moments of the match for Isaac Price, 20 minutes gone, when he caught out the debutant goalkeeper Evan Jaissle away to our right-hand side with a free kick from the edge of the penalty area. Bazamana Touré on his debut got the equaliser just 6 minutes before half-time, and at the break it is all square, and that means, because there's no extra time, we go straight to penalties if it stays like this. Lucy, what's your analysis of the first 45 minutes?
I think it was a brilliant start from Newcastle. They needed to score because, unbeknownst to them, West Brom would just grow in confidence. They got the ball up the pitch, they kept the ball at the other end and put Newcastle under a bit of pressure, got a few free kicks, scored from one of them, which was an unbelievable goal, and then, just played with freedom. And I think that, it's quite a competitive, tight game. I think the West Brom fans are miles away from us, but they look particularly pleased with what's gone on, and Newcastle have got some work to do if they're going to win this.
Indeed, Tottenham Hotspur has scored for the second time on the night over on TalkSport. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Charlton 0 on the stroke of half-time. Dominic Solanke has scored. That'll do him the world of good, do Tottenham the world of good as well. This is TalkSport 2. We are live at the Carabao Cup second round game between Newcastle and West Bromwich Albion. It's 1-1 at the break, and we're live on TalkSport 2 with Sage, the official accounting software partner of the EFL. We'll bring you all the half-time scores in just a moment, and the second half next here on TalkSport 2.
Your live sports station.
Oh, what a move!
This is TalkSport 2. TalkSport 2 with official betting partner William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Take my money. You, and you gather in the name of chicken, for thou shalt not eat alone. The KFC popcorn bucket. 60 pieces for $5.99. Get the deal. Believe in chicken. KFC. Until 4th of October. Subject to availability. Participating restaurants only. Excludes delivery. See kfc.co.uk for T's and C's.
Is it time to upgrade that phone of yours? Well, this just in. Oh, only Sky Mobile consistently has the lowest prices. Oh, on the latest phones. Ooh, with unlimited data, which means you can expect even more with Sky Mobile. Sky, believe in better.
Weekly comparison versus major providers for selected phones on 36-month term with unlimited data. Verify at sky.com/lowest prices.
Screwfix Live 2026. It's big, it's back, it's free. Over 200 big trade brands, live demos and trade talks. Over 7,500 big show-only deals and at least 10% off our entire range. Don't miss our famous goodie bag worth over £40 when you register now at screwfixlive.com. This show's so big, you've got to see it for yourself. Screwfix Live, September 25th to 27th at Farnborough International. The big day out is back. Registrations close just before midnight on the 24th of September.
Every day, NatWest customers are doing extraordinary things. Like game-changing founder of Foudies, Helen Hardy.
I was at women's footy matches every week. Thousands of fans. But none of them had shirts with women's names on them. So I got a £200 heat press and I started printing them myself. 300 gut decisions later, Foudies sells women's football shirts all over the world.
With NatWest, people like Helen are making extraordinary things happen. So whatever yours is, let's do this.
Season finale catch-up. You know what's needed. Pop to Co-op. Co-op members get 2 stone-baked pizzas and a tub of Ben & Jerry's for £5. Co-op, owned by you, right by you.
Ends 8th of September. Selected products subject to availability. Co-op group membership required. £1 joining fee. Full times at co.co.uk/summer.
Crocs Clips just dropped in Happy Meal. Express yourself however you feel. Sports mode, stylish or superstar too. Whatever your vibe, we've got the mode for you. Some fun, some food. It's all inside this Happy Meal.
Until the 21st of September from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy. Crocs range comprises toys only while stocks last. Fair ordering policy applies.
All the breaking big sports news, live football scores and interviews. There's transfer fees and injuries. Even full match commentaries.
The TalkSport app. Hear, watch and scroll unbeatable content from the world's biggest sports radio station. Whenever you want, wherever you want. Available from the App Store now. Terms and conditions apply.
It's another day of box office football here on TalkSport. So let's have a quick rundown of today's blockbusting lineup. At the back and in the black, Caped Crusader Sven Batman.
Get heroic coverage of every epic clash.
Also, Kyle Skywalker.
On the radio station that knows, with great power comes great responsibility.
And Tyrone Mings the Merciless.
From zero to hero.
Up front, Bruce Wayne Rooney and the boy wonder, Robin Van Persie.
It's a world-class free kick.
Supporters assemble.
Captain Fantastic.
Talk Sport.
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker.
The Carabao Cup, live on TalkSport 2.
With respect to Filip Hrgović, Moses Atoma is going to go through him.
I don't buying that story, that hype. I'm not buying that.
Don't buy it, you'll see it.
Moses Atoma!
That's it! Delbert Franklin, and now Moses Atoma bows to his crown.
This is the hardest fight, like professional, amateur, the threat, the opposition.
There is the destructive power of this exciting teenager.
People might think I'm crazy. I think he's the best I've seen since Muhammad Ali.
Moses Atoma gets the biggest win of his professional life.
What's at stake? Of course, that's the biggest fight of my life.
Well, this Saturday, TalkSport brings you live boxing. We've got commentary as Moses Atoma aims to become Britain's youngest ever world champion. He faces the experienced Filip Hrgović at London's O2 Arena. That's Moses Atoma against Filip Hrgović. The vacant IBF heavyweight title is on the line this Saturday, live on TalkSport from 7:30. And the TalkSport Boxing YouTube channel as well. You can watch live on DAZN. Anthony Elanga is doing his warm-ups down in front of us. He's the only substitute out, which would suggest that they might well be interested in bringing him on at half-time, give them a little bit more cut and thrust. We are at the Carabao Cup second round on TalkSport 2. Half-time here at St James's Park between Newcastle and Championship side West Bromwich Albion. It's 1-1. Isaac Price scoring the opener after 20 minutes. The equaliser scored by debutant Bazumana Toure for Newcastle United. Elanga coming on, Lucy. I mean, would that be for maybe Jacob Murphy over on the far side? Would that be the
perhaps?
Most likely?
I'm not sure that Jaissle will be completely satisfied with his team's performance in the first half. Yes, they had the better quality of chances, but the amount of times that they got in the box in the opening part of the game, they probably should have scored 1 or 2 goals and made it very, very difficult for West Brom, and they didn't, which meant that West Brom went in front, and it's just
Dover 1-0 scoreline at half-time. Everton under David Moyes in front. And Dover 1-0 scoreline at half-time. Everton under David Moyes in front at Prenton Park. We've got more live football for you tomorrow because all the action continues at Craven Cottage. Fulham against AFC. Wimbledon is live on TalkSport. No, it's not live on TalkSport 2, is it? We've got TalkSport 2 has got the big Conference League playoff game for Brighton tomorrow, which is important because they didn't get a decent result, did they, away from home, and they need to make sure they get through tomorrow night. We've got live commentary on TalkSport of Chelsea against Luton. Hugh Wozencroft will be there. I'll be there with Leanne Sanderson tomorrow on TalkSport. Looking forward to see how Chelsea get on after what was a vibrant attacking display against Fulham on Monday Night Football. Should we have a look back at some of the action that we saw last night in the Carabao Cup, starting with the game that was on TalkSport 2. Leeds United booked their place in the third round as a wasteful Nottingham Forest showed why they needed to strengthen their attack before the transfer deadline. I mean, you and I were both there last night. I thought Leeds were deserving of their victory.
Yeah, I think that Leeds had more energy, more intensity, more endeavour than Forest. And yeah, Forest are getting used to each other, they're getting used to Glasner, but there just seemed to be a sort of lack of urgency and energy. And because Leeds had that, then they only really looked like one winner as the game went on, that Leeds were going to go and score a couple of goals, which they did, and another clean sheet for Leeds, and I think that is very important.
James Trafford absolutely superb again in the Leeds United goal. After the game, the Nottingham Forest boss Oliver Glasner spoke to us, and he insisted that Forest will only improve as the season progresses.
Players come in and all of a sudden we play for winning the league. It's we have to accept the reality. The reality was, I think, position 16, 10 or 9 months playing against not getting relegated. That was the reality, and then it's not a new manager comes in, and now everything works. No, it's just the players who can change it. We can support them. We will support them, but we need every single one. We need to work together. We need to stick together. That's what we did so far. But again, it's a process. We're still at the beginning of our process, and I know, because I faced this, to be honest, at every single club, that there were a few tough moments, especially at the beginning, but after a certain time we started to improve. We have to improve our fitness level, we have to improve our aggression, we have to improve our quick passing, we have to improve our ruthlessness into the opposite box, and then we will get better results.
We talked about ruthlessness in the opposition's box. He's signed Liam Delap from Chelsea. Is that going to add that ruthlessness?
Yeah, I think Liam Delap is a very, very good player who sort of lost his way at Chelsea. I think he's a type of player, particularly a young player, who needs to have games in a row, sort of play a lot of minutes and get himself into a rhythm. We saw it at Ipswich. We know he's capable of it. And the way that Glasner wants to play, he wants to have his number 9 that is a threat in behind, as well as being a big man and holding the ball up and being a focal point. And I think that Delap will offer that, and I think that's a good signing. But again, 2 losses at the start of the season means the pressure's on, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, it's hard to read Oliver Glasner. We were lucky enough to be in Bosnia when he took a Crystal Palace side into the latter stages of the Conference League, and at that point he'd seemingly fallen out with everybody at Crystal Palace and was on the verge of an exit. But ultimately he managed to turn that situation around, stayed there till the end of the season, won the Conference League, and that was off the back of winning the FA Cup there as well, and now largely viewed as a very successful period, and quite rightly so. But there was a period where he was coming out with odd quotes, and he has come out with some odd quotes already this season. Saturday afternoon he said, well, you can't expect me to get them playing like Real Madrid 1970s, I've only been here for a couple of weeks. Then of course last night coming out with the comments about, all of a sudden just because we got a couple of players we're supposed to fight for the title. I mean, is he just trying to dampen down expectation?
Yeah, I think, and also when they've got games every few days, he's always talking to the press, they're always asking him questions, so he has to say something. And I will say for Glasner, he wasn't supported by Palace last summer after they won the FA Cup, but still managed to win the Conference League trophy. I think that he is the best back 3 manager in Europe. I think he's proved that, and I think it's just a matter of time. You just got to have patience with him at Forest, that he improves players. He's shown that he improves players at Palace, and what becomes of it when you just have that little bit of patience.
Well, we'll see what happens with Nottingham Forest live on TalkSport this Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. We're on air from 11 o'clock. It's Liverpool, the opponents at Anfield today. I mean, what he doesn't want to do is start with 3 defeats in a row. Southampton won, West Ham United 4. Big win for West Ham. You were pretty pleased to see one of the youngsters on the score sheet as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity, isn't it? It's a balance, the Carabao Cup, that you've got younger players who can make a difference, but you've got to balance that with the senior players, so make it a good experience and a good environment for the younger players. But that's a good win for West Ham, because what you don't want, the same as Forest, you don't want to start the season in a way where you're not getting the results or the performances that you think that you require, particularly when you're probably favourites for the Championship. So I think that will be good for the belief of that West Ham squad.
Birmingham 1, Brentford 6. There's 2 sides to this tale, isn't there? Keith Andrews' side, massive result, underrated in the Premier League possibly. They beat up Spurs, they absolutely battered Spurs on Saturday. Could have been a lot more than it was, and they missed a penalty as well in that game. I mean, it wouldn't surprise you if they finished in the top 10 again, would it?
Absolutely not. Brentford get a lot of things right. Everything's about continuity, it's about patience. We talked about that, the bigger clubs, it's difficult. They give everybody time at Brentford, so they have Schade, for instance, didn't play that well in the first months or seasons that he was there. Now all of a sudden he's one of the better players, and I think it's the environment that gives managers and players time, and what it shows is that they actually are cohesive. they've got to they recruit very, very well and then produce performances like we've seen at the start of this season.
Harvey Barnes is going to come on at half-time in place of the goal scorer Toure, who's gone off after 45 minutes. No changes for West Bromwich Albion here in the Carabao Cup second round. Interesting, isn't it, that it's Harvey Barnes that comes on when we've seen Elanga doing a solo warm-up away to our right-hand side, but then again, that is sometimes the way of things.
I mean, you basically, Harvey Barnes has been listening to what the manager's got to say, and I think that's probably more important. He would have probably done more up inside as well, so it's interesting whether Toure has some sort of knock or whatever, but I'm sure that he also wouldn't want it to change his team too much. But Barnes, again, play with pace, play with something to prove to show how good he is, and he really is. I mean, the forward line on Sunday was excellent for Newcastle.
Well, we're underway in the second half. We play 27 seconds of it, and it's with Dedic on this right-hand side. I'll go through the 2-11s in just a second. You're listening to EFL Live on TalkSport 2 with Sage, the official accounting software partner of the EFL. Here is Willock, edge of the penalty area, trying to turn infield and send a cross into the box, and it almost came through to Murphy, and Townsend stooped underneath it, thinking that there wasn't anybody behind him. Murphy was actually, but it was just a little bit too far in front of him, and goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right. 1-1.
I think that Townsend knew what was happening behind him, but knew that if he ducked really, really late, that perhaps, I mean, it's risky that Murphy wouldn't gamble, and he didn't gamble.
Close, wasn't it? Murphy picks it up, takes it off the toes of Whitwell, goes infield, gives it to Ramsey. Ramsey moves up and feeds Lewis Hall. Hall in the bright orange boots gives it to Barnes, who skips away from the defender. Low cross into the box, and it's steered away by Townsend, who had to react to spoon it over the bar. Good attack from Newcastle United, and Barnes immediately in the thick of the action.
Yes, good ball, really firm ball from Hall into Barnes, and it just flicks around the corner and just strikes the ball across the 6-yard box. And great clearance from Townsend, could quite easily have ended up in the back of the net.
Newcastle United 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Go through 2-11s in just a second. Black and white striped jerseys, black shorts, black socks for Newcastle, attacking the goal away to our right in front of the Gallagate end, the famous end that goes down the hill in the second half. It's all red for West Brom as the corner is sent in by Murphy, right-footed. It's an in-swinger, it's a high one towards the back post. Chow with a header down, and the goalkeeper Ingram makes a really good save. It came down after he rose above a crowd of players, Chow. He headed the ball down towards the near corner, and Ingram got down and pushed it round the post.
That's a really, really good save. It's a good header from Chow. He manages to find the only space really from that position with his header. Ingram reacted really low to his left.
Lewis Hall from the other side will send another corner into the box, and Matthias Jaissle obviously has given his team a bit of a rocket. Sent to the edge of the area to Barnes, who strikes it right foot, takes a little deflection, loose inside the penalty area, comes to Barnes again, who follows it up, slams it into the net, and Newcastle United have come from behind to lead. The substitutes come off the bench, and he scored within 3 minutes of his introduction. Harvey Barnes with a goal to put Newcastle in front. A misfielded effort from the edge of the penalty area, which he whacked towards goal. It bobbled around inside the 6-yard box, and he'd followed it in, smashed it beyond Ingram, and it's now Newcastle United 2, West Bromwich Albion 1.
You know, he's made a difference, hasn't he, Harvey Barnes, since he's come on. He was the one that had the effort at the edge of the area, and we talked about shooting. It wasn't the best shot, but it caused problems. He just kept following it in, and he was the one when the ball wriggled free. And he'd made his movement forward, he just kept running and jogging forward. It landed at his feet and slammed it into the back of the net. And I do think that perhaps Newcastle looked a little bit vulnerable on that left-hand side defensively. Barnes obviously will offer that, but what he's offered at the other end of the pitch has put them 2-1 up.
Well, we barely played 2.5 minutes before he got his name on the score sheet, Harvey Barnes. The best scoring season of his year last year, 16 in all competitions, and he's off and running for the new campaign.
He was on loan at West Brom, wasn't he? Really good when he was on loan at West Brom. Do you remember?
He was, when he was a bit younger, from Leicester City.
Yeah.
Indeed. And he's scored against them now. The former on loan baggy has bagged against them. 50 minutes on the clock. Dear me. Imagine how I feel. I've sat next to you for 2 nights in a row.
it's got this place going anyway, hasn't it, that goal? And I think that's important that Harvey Barnes came on and everything about it was front foot on that left-hand side. He was involved right from the start of the second half and gets a goal.
Botman trying to clear, hits the legs of Whitwell, goes down a play and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. It is the 132nd meeting of Newcastle and West Brom, and Newcastle have Evan Jaissle in goal. He'll be feeling a lot better about his error now that they're in front. Dedic, Chow, Botman and Hall make up the back four. Sean Sturr, the 18-year-old, and Jacob Ramsey, the two holders in midfield. Murphy, Willock and Barnes behind Baltamada in attack. Sturr has been booked in that first 45 minutes. Ingram is the goalkeeper for West Brom in red shirts, red shorts and red socks. And we'll have to do a little bit of defending here as Ramsey picks it up, tucks it to Willock inside the area, left-hand side, tries to return it to Ramsey, comes back to Willock. Willock shoots from the penalty spot, hits the ground and goes wide of the goal. And it wasn't the best of efforts from Willock, but it was persistent play by Willock and Ramsey to bound into the box and unsettle the West Bromwich Albion defence. It was a good chance for Willock to make it 3.
Yeah, Newcastle have started the second half how they started the first, but the difference being that they've put the ball in the back of the net with Barnes. This should really have been 3. West Brom desperately trying to clear it at the back of a defender. Lands at Willock, but he puts it wide.
Started the second half, as Lucy says, with a bit more zip and tempo and aggression in their play. Determination to try and take the game away from a West Bromwich Albion side that have won every game they've played so far this season, and they usually win here, because although these two teams are split at 48 wins each in the head-to-head, the League Cup chapter of the Newcastle West Brom story is a short one. 2 previous ties, both of them at this ground, and both of them Albion wins. Here they come on the front foot, trying to get an equaliser. Might well come to Price again, whose shot after it's spilt by the goalkeeper has to be stopped by the defender, because that was an opportunity for an equaliser after a melee in the box. He's got it back again, Price, low into the area. It's picked up by Whitwell, tucked back to the edge of the box, but that's going to be cleared away by Newcastle United, and immediately they race up the pitch with Harvey Barnes, who's tugged back by Zingula, and he's going to earn himself a yellow card, I think.
Yeah, it's just a reminder from West Brom, the quality they've got in the final third there. It's a great, I think it was a block from Chow in the end that could have ended up in the back of the net, certainly. So maybe suspect that Newcastle will need a third goal, because West Brom will just keep going, won't they?
I think they probably will. And it's been another good start to the second half. I've been fortunate enough to go to a few games already this season, and I was at Hull on Saturday, cracking game that. I was here on Sunday for the Newcastle game. Brilliant match on Monday night, Chelsea against Fulham. Wasn't bad last night at the City Ground either, was it? And now we've got another interesting tie. And I do think, the teams that play with aggression and assertiveness are causing problems, and Chow's just been done by Jimmy J. Morgan getting a little bit too eager. Morrison's not happy about the fact that that foul's been given.
Yeah, it's caught in the face, Chow, and I think the referee heard from his assistant there, because he wasn't going to give the free kick, and I think it was a free kick. He just went in with his elbow. It's probably a good job. If you just watch that again, he actually goes in with his elbow into Chow's face.
Good job, no VAR tonight. Chelsea-Luton tomorrow night, 7:30. Brighton-Tromsø the same time on TalkSport 2. Chelsea-Luton is on TalkSport. Crystal Palace-Manchester City Friday night from the Premier League. Liverpool-Nottingham Forest, and Aston Villa against Arsenal. Our 3 Premier League offerings this week. That last one is on Monday night, and the kick-off deadline day special with Adrian Durham at 7 o'clock next Tuesday, at the same time as the 2 big Championship heavyweights go head-to-head on TalkSport 2. West Ham against Wolverhampton Wanderers. All the football season, you know it's TalkSport. 9 minutes gone second half. Newcastle 2, West Brom 1, and here's Harvey Barnes over on the left-hand side, looking for Willock, who gets down the left side of the area. He tries to tuck it back to Barnes again. There's space for Ramsey in the centre. He gets hold of it now, gives it back to the second half substitute and goal scorer Barnes. He then finds Ramsey again. West Brom just backpedal into a shape that keeps them at arm's length. Over on the far side, Sturr strides forward, then gives it to Chow.
They do that well, West Brom.
Here is Murphy into Baltamada, all cut out well by Campbell, who got back there, but Sturr goes across to stop Price from getting hold of it. Now Murphy has turned and run at the defence, and the challenge comes in from Diakite. That's a free kick. 6 yards back from the edge of the D, dead centre of the West Brom half.
Yeah, just let the ball run across his body there, Murphy. That's really good play. Ball played centrally, good play by Sturt. In the meantime, he just took out the two central midfielders. Diakite had to foul him in the end, and it's a central free kick that does cause problems for West Brom. Maybe might be too straight, but they have got free kick specialists in that group.
Sturt just comes over and asks one of the technical staff for a drink of water. Takes it on and then goes back into the middle of the park. Matthias Jaissle comes out to the edge of his penalty area. The set-piece coach comes to orchestrate what should happen here. Dedic having a word with Botman before they take the free kick, and Lewis Hall standing over it as well. Isaac Price scored from a free kick from nearer towards the near touchline, but similar sort of range in the first half. Be interesting to see who takes this on, Lucy. It looks like one for a right footer, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, because it looks right in the middle, that it could be either of them, so he needs to make sure that he's well aware, he's lining his wall up very, very carefully.
Yeah, it's just slightly to the left of centre, maybe, and that's why the wall is just slightly over that side. Ingram trying to take a couple of steps into the centre of his goal now. Newcastle have lined the wall up sort of diagonally left of where the West Brom wall is, which will almost act as a sort of decoy. Dedic standing over it. He's looking dead-eyed at the ball here. 2-1 on TalkSport 2 to Newcastle United, and a chance maybe to try and strike at the goalkeeper. Dedic, right-footed over the wall, doesn't quite get over the wall. It hits one of them, comes back out. Looked like it hit Campbell right in the face, and the referee has just gone over to check that he's okay and called on the medical staff.
Yeah, they come on straight away. The physios on the edge of the box. Campbell sort of felt that wherever it hit him with some force.
I don't think he asked for treatment, did he? He just sort of went straight down. I wonder if it's because it... I mean, did it hit him in the face? Yeah, it did, hit full on the face.
Yeah,
he went down in instalments, and the referee was like, just get someone on.
It's good, that, actually, good reaction, but the thing is, he's got to... Does he have to stay off?
Not if it's a head injury, no. There are sort of, if it's a head injury and they were just checking on him, then I think they say, no, we're not going to make you go off for that. But there's some caveats, aren't there, in those new laws? I was going through them again today, and I just thought they're even different from the ones at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Bradford 0, Burnley 0, Newcastle 2, West Brom 1 here. Tottenham 2-0 up against Charlton over on TalkSport, and Preston 0, Everton 1. That's half-time. Hearts are through to the league phase of the Conference League, which is good news for them. And Brighton's trying to get through to that stage as well. He is going to come off here for at least a little bit after having an assessment.
Yeah, I mean, he was hit with some force there, Sam, and you saw his sort of head went back and he went down onto his knees first. It obviously did affect him.
But it's not a free kick, is it? I mean, isn't it an uncontested drop ball?
Should be.
Well, they put the ball down 6 yards back from the edge of the area, 10 yards back from the edge of the area.
Set it up as a free kick.
And they've set it up as a free kick. It's not a free kick. He's now picked the ball up, Bobby Madley, and said it is going to be an uncontested drop ball, and can Jimmy J. Morgan take a couple of steps back so that Jacob Murphy can get hold of it. He volleys it straight into the box like it is a free kick towards the far post, and Ingram has to come across, and he punches clear.
No way, I can't believe he's just done that. I think Bobby Madley did that so they pass it back to the goalkeeper, but instead he put a good cross in. Cheers, mate. West Brom fans were booing, but you can't hear them because they're miles away.
Ball out on this near side is Dedic. Dedic runs up towards Jimmy J. Morgan, teases the ball to the left and right, gives it to Murphy. He's still off the pitch. Is Campbell, the captain, after receiving his treatment. So it looks like they are going to keep him off for the minute, which you now have to have if you've had treatment. Barnes cuts in field, gives it back to Ramsey. Ramsey's cross is a floater, but it's far too high, and it goes out and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side, and it remains Newcastle 2, West Brom 1, and Campbell will be allowed to come back on now, surely.
Yeah, and it's been mostly Newcastle in this second half after they got the early goal to put them in front. Harvey Barnes, and they just kept the pressure up, and haven't really been any respite for West Brom. Both the centre midfielders have been booked, who've been very, very good, Diakite and Zingula, but just putting the pressure, and the hosts just on top.
Well, West Brom have got better the longer matches have gone on. 6 of their 9 goals this season have come in the second half of games. And they'll be hoping they can find another one here to try and take it through to extra penalty kicks.
J.J. Morgan just keeps getting pulled up for fouls, and you know, he's probably one of the slightest players on the pitch, but he's tough. He's a tough kid. Dedic, I think he just stood on Dedic's toe. You'd think he'd just shot him.
You're suggesting he's being over dramatic?
I mean, it does hurt because them boots are like really thin.
They are, aren't they? Far too lightweight. Here on the left-hand side, the ball's with Ramsey. Ramsey infield into Barnes. Barnes back to the far side. You never know, he might have an ingrown toenail as well, and they're really painful. Here is Sturr trying to get away from Jimmy J. Morgan. Into Ramsey. Ramsey on the half-turn. Voltemada gets hold of it. He's tripped by Ousmane Diakite. He's another one who's just been a little bit lucky not to pick up a yellow card yet. Back it goes to Chow. Out to the right. On to Murphy. Cuts in from the right side into the centre. Goes back out to Dedic once more. Dedic back from Willock, and then they're trying to get to the edge of the penalty area, but all avenues shut off by West Brom, who shuttle across really well, close down the space and force them back to the halfway line. Botman finds Hall, who starts to attack down the other side on the left-hand side. He gets towards the edge of the area, and it's picked up now on the edge of the box. And then it goes back to Willock, who finds Sturr. Sturr into Murphy. Murphy went to shoot. Diakite nudged it away. And then Jimmy J. Morgan going back to help out his defence. Almost gives the ball away. Does. The Voltemada goes into the penalty area. He goes down looking for a spot kick. The referee says no. It's cleared away. There could have been a foul on the edge of the box. The referee played the advantage. Jaissle is asking for a penalty. And bearing in mind what he saw, or what he thought of the penalty that was given against him on Sunday, he would probably be expecting some sort of decision there.
It did look like it was a challenge from behind on Voltemada. In fact, 2 or 3 West Brom players just converged on the German as he strode into the box. There's lots of appeals, as there would be from the home team.
He's given a yellow card to someone, but it looks like he's a Newcastle player. It looked like there was a foul over on the far side, definitely. Murphy was tangling with Jimmy J. Morgan. That looked like a foul. And then there was a coming together of Townsend and of Diakite inside the area. And you said show me a statistic that Diakite has been booked.
Yeah, he was booked earlier on with that central free kick. I was paying attention at that point and noted it.
All right, I was checking what was happening at Tottenham Charlton, I think. And doing the scores, you know, keeping my finger on the pulse everywhere else. There's a bus somewhere that you keep running me over with. Is there any chance you could take the keys out of the ignition?
It's good that I'm making note of what happens in this game that we're watching.
Well done. Here is Hall moving up towards the halfway line. Tackle comes in this time from Whitwell, and well, the referee. Just having a word with him now. Hall complaining that that's not the first time.
Yeah, just getting a bit frustrated, I think, West Brom, because the dial has been pushed towards Newcastle in this game in terms of the momentum, and just trying to wrestle it back. West Brom, but not quite got the quality to do it.
Johan Visser, Lewis Miley and Anthony Elanga all about to come on. And Joe Willock coming off to be replaced by Johan Visser. Miley gets a special word of instruction and encouragement from Jaissle on the touchline. Elanga lurking on the touchline means that Murphy thinks that he's coming off. He's started to edge over towards the near side. It is Murphy who comes off for Anthony Elanga, who scored after 4 minutes of the game against Liverpool. And Lewis Miley, I think, is going to come on for Sturr, surely. Miley waiting to enter the field, and it is Sturr who he replaces.
He's really grown, Lewis Miley. He's got a great physique for a centre midfielder. He's still only a young player, but we've got high hopes for him at Newcastle.
Did you see that Barney Stewart yellow card, by the way?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, right. Well, if you were paying attention.
I didn't see it.
1-1. Newcastle United 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. 65 minutes gone. This is TalkSport with Sam Matthias and Lucy Ward. Here is Botman back to the left, finding Ramsey, and then all the way back to Miley, who played a lot in pre-season actually, and he's very well thought of here. And by Jaissle, mistake by Campbell. The ball goes out of play very quickly. Whistle wanted the ball thrown in, and Elanga manages to get it to him. He moves down the right, gives it back to Visser, who pokes it away from Diakite, finds Miley. Immediately the substitutes put an extra bit of energy into the team. Chow, they want to go forward here, Newcastle United. Dedic on the right-hand side. Elanga immediately goes down the right, looking to get on the end of the pass from the Bosnian. He looks to come in field, plays it against the red shirt. It's cleared away towards the halfway line. A bit of a shove from Barney Stewart, and on Botman, who goes down in a heap by the centre circle. It goes back to the right for Chow. Newcastle look to build. And it just shows you actually the desire to go on and progress in this competition, the fact that he's brought on even more of the first teamers.
Yeah, and it's good because what you want to do is just continue the feel-good from the weekend. Yes, there was disappointment at the end, but the performance was very good. Visser was part of that, Elanga was part of that, and Miley also. So bringing them on, giving them some minutes, just trying to tip this even further in the direction of Newcastle this game.
Here is Visser over on the far side, getting back to win the ball and move it down the left to Barnes. Barnes onto Voltemada. Voltemada tries to slip it forward into Hall, who's just a bit behind him. And Jaissle comes out of his dugout and tells them to press higher up the pitch. Ramsey responds, wins the ball back. There's lots of space on the near side for Dedic. Dedic now attacking the box. He's got three in the centre. Visser is one of those. He tries to flick it round towards him. Didn't quite get that right. Bounced off the defender Townsend, then hit Dedic again. It's picked up by Ingram away to our right-hand side.
Dedic is a very, very good sign at right back for Newcastle. Quite happy to go forward. We'll get up and down that right-hand side. We'll get back and defend, but it's certainly an asset in an attacking sense when they do break.
Well, fascinating, isn't it? They've got Tino Livramento still coming back from injury. I think they thought at one stage that Tino was going to be the subject of a bit of transfer interest this summer, but because of the injury, I think that's sort of been overlooked slightly. I do want him to get back to full fitness quickly and maintain his fitness, because he's a brilliant player, Tino Livramento, but he has spent quite a lot of time of his career on the sidelines because of injury. Here is Whitwell, back to Campbell. Campbell back to Price, who's very deep at the moment. He's almost part of the back three, and he almost got robbed there by Elanga. Let's be a little bit careful. They're about to bring on Malumbi into the centre of midfield here, West Bromwich Albion, who trailed by 2-1 to Newcastle. They took the lead early in the game. Price scored early, and he's just tried a little trick on Ramsey that didn't come off, and Ramsey said, right, you know what, I'm going to wire into you there, and then there's a bit of verbals between the two of them as the ball goes out for a throw-in.
Love that. Young player, well, both young players, but Price just didn't back down in the little verbal with Ramsey.
Ramsey plays the ball square, centre circle, out to the far touchline, where Lewis Hall goes striding forward, plays it on to Barnes. Barnes, who had an immediate impact but hasn't seen much of the ball since the goal that put Newcastle in front. Gives it back to Ramsey. Now Lewis Miley, who's 20 yards from the penalty area, sends a crossfield ball out to Dedic, who takes it down, looks up, produces a cross, looking for Voltemada, away by Campbell, who got there first, goes back into the area but protected by Diakite, and then Chow winning it about 10 yards in front of the West Brom penalty area, puts Newcastle back on the front foot. Here's Ramsey, left side, in possession for Newcastle United. Those black and white shirts almost camped in West Brom territory now. Barnes from distance with an effort. It's low and hard, but it's straight into the arms of Ingram. And I think we're going to get to see Felix Hornmeyer as well come on for West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah, they're in control of it now.
As well. Here's Elanga down the right-hand side as they give the ball away, as they play out from the back. Visser nips in ahead of Campbell. Back out to Elanga again. Yeah, they are in control, aren't they? And they're setting the agenda, Newcastle United. Ramsey firing it onto Elanga, who's got in behind. He tries to strike, but he's offside. The flag was up very quickly.
Yeah, it's a good run in behind from Elanga, but he just gone a moment too early. But that sort of they're not really leaving the space in behind the defence like Liverpool did at the weekend, but still going to make that run, and it's the timing of the runs for Elanga. Didn't quite get right that time.
Callum Styles on, and off comes Rabi Zingula. It's the first change of the night, and it looks like Jimmy J Johnson is going to be subbed off for Felix Horn-Meira. And the final change, Malumbi for Diakite. Felix Horn-Meira played for Brann. He was the captain for Brann. He played in the Europa League last season. £2.6 million from Norwegian football. 32 goals in 81 games. He's an attacking midfield player.
Yeah, they are starting to see tired legs with these West Brom players. James Rice makes those substitutions. They've worked so hard to try and keep up with Newcastle, the Premier League side, just showing a little bit more quality and energy at the moment. The subs a little bit earlier than West Brom did, and like I say, in control of the game, territory, playing further up the pitch and keeping West Brom back.
There's a brightness about West Brom though that makes you think, actually, do you know what, they're going to have a reasonable season.
Yeah, well, I'm doing the game on Saturday, Middlesbrough, which will be a very, very good game because West Brom travel well this season, and Middlesbrough not bad at home.
Ramsey trying to get away from Callum Styles, who's just come off the bench. He wrestled with Ramsey and managed to win the ball back, and then Malumbi gets it forward. Price into centre field. It's picked up by Horn-Meira to the edge of the area. The shot from the edge of the box from Barney Stewart is blocked by Lewis Hall, and then cleared further away by Botman and out to the far side. 18 and a half to go.
It's a great run in that from the 4 or 5 younger players of West Brom. 1 and 2 touches as they get themselves up the pitch, but Lewis Hall did so well there to block it.
Newcastle 2, West Brom 1. Newcastle heading through to the third round. They usually go deep in this competition, and they will be hoping to do something similar again this time around. Winners in 2025, semi-finalists last year, quarter-finalists 2024, finalists in 2023. It's been a golden period, a good relationship between Newcastle and the Carabao Cup. So flag up against Meira over on the far side. It's going to be a free kick to Newcastle United. Big weekend on TalkSport, obviously, but big weekend for both these two teams. Tottenham away on Saturday team time for Newcastle, which means Sandro Tonali against his old club 10 weeks after the £100 million move. Cheers for that. Fixture computer. The Bournemouth team come here next Saturday. Leeds away after that. TalkSport will keep you across the whole lot. For West Brom, Middlesbrough away on Saturday lunchtime. Lucy will be there for television. It's live on ITV, that one, isn't it?
It is.
And then Charlton at home next Wednesday night. Watford at home the Saturday after. And West Brom, because of the fact they're playing Middlesbrough, they've made their base camp up here in the northeast, and they're going to stay here all the way through, which makes sense.
Yeah, it's another kick-off, isn't it, Saturday? That's why.
Meyer picks the ball off of Miley and tries to play it to the edge of the area as West Brom trying to look back, get back into the game. Couldn't quite find Whitwell, and Voltemada holds it up a little bit better this time. Gets it back to Chow, who then chips it over the top, looking for Elanga. Elanga gets hold of it, cuts back in field, skips away from 2 challenges, manages to keep hold of the ball despite the presence of Price, and then guides it back to Malik Chiao. Elanga again, right side, just over the halfway line. Tottenham 3-0 up now against Charlton over on TalkSport. Kevin Danso with the goal. His first touch after coming off the bench. Ball sent high up towards the left-hand side. Barnes brings it down. Good defending from Alex Williams. And it's cleared away by the West Brom defence. So it gives it back to Ingram, who quite comfortably with his...
Yeah, he doesn't mind that, does he? 1 and 2 touch, the goalkeeper for West Brom.
His feet are pretty impressive.
Yeah, just play it back to him under pressure. There's been some dodgy moments, but nothing where they look risk of giving a goal away.
Signed from Oxford in June, 2-year deal. Over 300 career games in the EFL for Matt Ingram. Back up to Max O'Leary this season. Here is Harry Whitwell for West Bromwich Albion in the Carabao Cup second round, trailing but trying to force a way back into the game. And remember, because of the penalty shootout situation, no extra time, it really does add an extra layer of jeopardy, you know, especially when the margin is just one goal going into stoppage time, because they'll just throw everything at it, completely gamble, because they know that one goal sends them into a penalty shootout.
Absolutely. If they make it about the last 10 minutes, I think, West Brom, and go for it, you know, if they lose 2-1 or 3-1, they may as well go for it, trying to get the equaliser.
Going to make another change here, I think, West Bromwich Albion. Tierno Barry has scored again for Everton. The second goal of the night. 2-0 they lead Preston away from home. He's had a good start to the season. I think they needed him to start stepping up and adding more goals to his game. Price manages to get it forward despite initially looking as if he was going to be dispossessed. Barney Stewart takes over now for West Brom, who start to attack down the right-hand side. Whitwell holds on to it, sends it on. Across comes Price, pulls the ball back through the area. Did it take a little deflection? It did. It came off a hand. That's going to be a penalty. It's another penalty given away by Newcastle United. That's another penalty given away by Lewis Hall.
Can't believe it, Lewis Hall. But the referee quickly decided, and it's on the same side as his assistant as well, isn't it, Sam, that as the ball came in, obviously there's no shouts from the West Brom fans because they're right at the top, but as it came along, it hit Lewis Hall's, and his arm looked like it was away from his body as he was running.
Well, it was.
He touched it, didn't he? I mean, I don't know what he's complaining about.
Definitely handball. I mean, he can't really moan about that because his arm was out on his left-hand side.
Yeah, as he was running, it was like a running action, and it hit his arm. And I think Jaissle's looking at it now, and as he reacted against Liverpool, he's certainly not this time. He's not shouting at the fourth official. He's like, fair enough.
It is one of those, though, isn't it? You know, it does look like a normal running action, yes, but ultimately, under the current laws of the game, it's also away from the body, and as a result of that, the referee gives the penalty, and it means that Isaac Price, who scored a penalty at the weekend against Burnley, has got the opportunity to draw them level in the match. Price, who scored twice at the weekend, has scored once already, has the opportunity to score twice at St James's Park. The Lee's end tried to distract him. Jaissle bounces on his line, but he can't stop that because it's stroked into the far corner. He sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and West Bromwich Albion scored twice at St James's Park, and a level once again. 2-2 the score, 2 goals from Price, and he had absolutely no nerves whatsoever, and the travelling West Bromwich Albion fans celebrate. Isaac Price scoring from the spot for the second successive game.
Yeah, he is not lacking in confidence, Isaac Price. What a player for West Brom. He's kept going. He's not really had much of the game in the second half, but he gets the penalty and strikes it very, very well, just like he did the free kick early on in the game to make it 1-0 to West Brom, and now it's level, and West Brom fans are going mad up there.
Well, they love coming here. They absolutely love coming here, especially in this competition. 2-1 winners after extra time in October 2003. 1-0 winners here in 1989. And it's 2-2 with 12 minutes to go, and a penalty shootout looming here on TalkSport 2. Ball sent up towards Voltemada. Can't quite get on the end of it. Visser tries to nick it, sends it away off the back of Mepham. It goes out for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area. Back into Barnes. Barnes now moving centrally. Looked up, wanted to get it in early, but then realised there wasn't enough of a target. And once again, Newcastle United just got to spring into life.
A bit more urgency about Newcastle now, knowing that they really want to finish this game in 90 minutes at home.
2-2. Just over 10 to go. Miley towards that left-hand side.
I said about West Brom being resilient, Sam.
Yeah.
No, they don't get their heads down, even though they were second best throughout this second half.
Into Dedic, looking for Visser. Visser trying to force it forward. Ramsey gives it to Voltemada, who gives it back. Lots of passing inside the box, and then Hall hits it against the post. and it comes cannoning back into the centre of the penalty area. There's no one there to finish it off. They were waiting for someone to take responsibility. Lewis Hall certainly did that. He slammed it from just inside the box and it hit the post. Crossfield ball by Miley. Barnes into the centre. Visser arriving, but he couldn't get over the top of it and sends it high into the Gallagher end and out and away for a goal kick. 2 more changes.
Yeah, I mean, they've had chances galore. I mean, it's a terrific strike initially from Lewis Hall, which hit the post, but little guided volley across to Visser that got it all wrong in the middle and blazed it over the bar.
Off comes Whitwell, on comes Tama Bani, and Bostock, Ollie Bostock about to come on for Isaac Price. So the 2 young wingers off, the 2 more youngsters on. 22-year-old Jordanian came on after he's been around since the January window in 2025. Is Ingram taking a little bit too much time over this goal kick? He has. Ollie Bostock is only 19, club's young player of the season last year. 8 appearances, 7 in the Championship, most of them as a sub, but he's on the field of play now, Ollie Bostock, and it's another young player that West Brom are relying on to try and get them over the line here. 2-2 the score, 10 minutes to go. Here's Alanga for Newcastle United, who won't want to go out at this stage. Alanga into Dedic, gets down the right side of the box, low ball in, brilliant! Barnes swivels, hits it, smashes it home, and the Gallagher erupts. Newcastle United lead by 3 goals to 2, and Harvey Barnes has come off the bench to score twice, and Newcastle United have the advantage again. Brilliant move down that right hand side, excellent from Dedic, whose low cross is swept home, and Barnes celebrates in traditional style with his arrow celebration, and Newcastle United nudge in front again.
Yeah, it's great combination, Dedic and Alanga. It ends up in the inside channel to Dedic, and he just puts it just the outside of the 6-yard box, and Harvey Barnes just knows where to be. He's a goal scorer. He comes in off that left-hand side into a central area. He obviously gave the shout to Dedic, who knew exactly where to put it, and it's a sweeping finish with his right foot, and this place erupts again.
Super, absolutely super. And Barnes with an excellent finish, and quite rightly, Matthias Jaissle is celebrating down in front of us. He's only about 15 yards away from us, and we can see him kicking every single ball. He's wearing a navy suit with a white shirt, a crisp white shirt, and beautiful bright white trainers. And I think he changes his trainers every game, because he walks about 1,000 miles during the course of a match. He don't stop, does he?
No, he doesn't, and he's made good substitutions. He's not afraid to make the substitutions. He brought his, you would call his big hitters on, and Harvey Barnes has repaid him in spades.
2 goals for Harvey Barnes off the bench, and Newcastle United are back in front, leading by 3 goals to 2. Voltamada into Visser. Visser trying to skip away from Myler. Back out towards the right-hand side, and Dedic all the way to Malik Chow. And now they've just got to try and manage the game out. They conceded very late in the game against Liverpool. It was a proper setback for them. And a setback here when they gave away a penalty when Lewis Hall handballed it inside the penalty area, but they've responded well.
Yeah, I mean, I did watch that game on Sunday and think that it's going to be exciting watching Newcastle this season. Lots of goals, they don't keep clean sheets, but certainly the fans will be happy if they end up on most games on the right side of the scoreline.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the Entertainers 2.0, because we've had a few iterations of that since then. It's about 4.5, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
But it is. I mean, you know, the way, the way they play, and it's high energy, and if you run out of legs, then you've got someone on the bench that can replace. It's just keeping it tight at the back.
It's just fun, and that's what they love. Energy, entertainment. Make sure there's a bit of endeavour, and they like that too here. And everybody pulling for the same cause. Elsewhere in the Carabao Cup tonight, Bradford 0, Burnley 0, that's going to penalties at the moment. Tottenham 3-0 up against Charlton, that's certainly not. And Preston 0, Everton 2. Well, it's 3-2 to Newcastle here. It's a tight end to the game. And it will be a fascinating final 6 minutes, I think, because back to where we were before, West Bromwich Albion will not give up. They will keep going to try and force that equaliser.
Yeah, they're at that end of the pitch at the moment. But the St James's Park are getting behind the home team. They think that they've done enough.
Matthias Jaissle just getting a bit of hydration after working up a bit of a sweat down there. He comes back very quickly out towards his edge of his technical area, and he's back issuing instructions again. Hands on hips as you watch his Callum Styles come forward over on the far side. Give it to Tamir Barney. Back in field it goes to Connor Townsend. Townsend tries to nudge it forward to Campbell. Campbell into Jason Mulumby. Mulumby finding Callum Styles. Styles out wide towards the right. Alex Williams coming forward, combines with Banny. A low cross into the centre. There's no one there to finish it off.
Should have scored.
There should have been. There should have been someone waiting, because that ball was fizzed through the 6-yard box and it was on a plate. It goes out for a corner.
What a ball that was from the right-hand side. West Brom and just caught on the heels in the middle of the goal. Dedic dealt with it well.
Newcastle a little bit caught flat-footed there as that ball came in from Alex Williams. Here is the corner. Connor Townsend to take it down in front of the Lees' end. West Brom 3-2 behind, but looking for an equaliser here. Headed away by Malik Chow. Big, strong, powerful header from the captain that clears the 18-yard box and gets almost to halfway. Rescued by Myra. Williams, who sent that ball in to start the attack, feeds Bainey down that right-hand side. The Jordanian gets it back to Mepham, who's being chased by Voltemade. And then it comes across to Myra once again. Visser tells Voltemade to go over to the far side and press, because he's going to go and close down the middle. There's a little look over the shoulder and a bit of side-eye from Voltemade, being asked to go charging over to the far side once more.
He just looks like a player that's just lacking in a little bit of confidence. Voltemade.
Here is the youngster Bostock on this near touchline. Ollie Bostock finds Mulumby, who runs into centre field. He's about 15 yards back from the edge of the area. It comes to Campbell, who decides to strike. And George Campbell, 6 yards back from the edge of the area, fires over the top of the crossbar. Everton 3-0 up, is that what you're showing me?
Yeah, Barry scored a hat-trick.
Oh, yes. I say yes, and then I realise that you don't get any points in Fantasy Premier League for Carabao Cup nights. I drafted him. You play the draft?
No, because I'm an adult.
Well, yeah, we know that. 3 minutes to go before the end of the game. You know me, I'm just one big kid.
Yeah, how have you got the time?
I don't. Here's Visser trying to grab the ball from the edge of the box after a poor kick out by Ingram. And with 3 minutes to go, the last thing that West Brom want to do is give away cheap ball like that. James Morrison talking up this venue all week. He said it's among the best in the league. He pointed out to the sellout last year against Bradford in this round of the competition. There's another sellout tonight, 51,500 in here this evening. In fact, 51,405 to be precise. And that's a brilliant crowd for
incredible.
A Carabao Cup second round tie.
Yeah, getting behind the team as well, and I think the performance from Sunday has helped.
Away by Dedic as the ball sent long by West Brom into the inside left channel. Across comes Miley low into the feet of Elanga. Elanga trying to turn away from danger. And here he's just left a little bit on Callum Styles, who goes to ground, but they've got the ball, so the referee plays on. Banny on the edge of the area is knocked to the floor by Ramsey, gives away the free kick. It's about to step back from the edge of the 18-yard box and in a dangerous position right at the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely flawed Banny then. Ramsey. And again, it's 1 and 2 touch from West Brom at the edge of Newcastle's area, which causes problems, and move the ball very, very quickly. There's great movement in front as well.
We went on a bit of a tour with Tottenham Hotspur a couple of years ago during their Europa League campaign. We bumped into 1 or 2 of the parents of the players. One of them was Brennan Johnson's mum and dad. And I'm delighted to say, especially for them really, and for him, that he's on the score sheet for Everton tonight. 4-0 the score.
Yes, spent a bit of time with his mum on the plane actually, and it's tough being a parent of a player who's just had a little bit of a sticky patch in his career, but yeah, scoring for Everton, brilliant.
It's tough being a parent of a footballer, as you say, but it's nice to have a sleep aid next to you on the plane. Tottenham 4, Charlton 0. Savio on his debut for Tottenham, scoring. after an £85 million move from Manchester City. They lead 4-0. Here's the free kick for West Bromwich Albion. It's going to be Malumbi to strike it, right-footed, towards the far corner, stopped by the goalkeeper. And Jaissle atones for his error in the first half with an excellent stop. It looked as if it was sneaking into the far corner, and he stretched out both his arms and pushed it away to safety.
It's a terrific effort. We were right behind that, Sam, weren't we? Did so well. Jaissle by Malumbi, great strike.
Yeah, and that just puts a little smile on the keeper's face as well. Tough debut for him, conceding in the manner that he did in the first half, being caught out by the free kick. But £18.5 million means that he's got a bit about himself. He's made a good stop there as we go into the final few seconds of the game. And Newcastle United, the first win of the Matthias Jaissle era, now just seconds away. I say seconds. There's 6 minutes of added time. It's quite a few. It's 360 of them. Dear, oh dear. 6 minutes?
Well, where's he got that? It must be the substitutes, that's all I could think.
Ball inside the West Brom penalty area, cleared away by Campbell. He did have to come off because of an injury as well, but it hasn't been 6 minutes, has it, really? Here on the far side, Barney Stewart goes across, takes the ball down, combines well with Bainey. He gets it back into the centre towards Callum Stiles. Stiles flicks it around the corner, gives it to Townsend. Townsend bounds forward, and West Bromwich Albion in the hunt for an equaliser here with Ollie Bostock. The young winger sends a low ball into the box, only half cleared by Chow, and then Miley tidies up on the edge of the area, and Voltemada tries to lead them out of dodge. Can't get away, doesn't keep his feet, wants a free kick, doesn't get it, and West Brom come forward. The ball's loose on the edge of the area. Botman heads it away, then goes out for a second one and makes sure he makes contact and nudged it straight out for a throw-in. Referee not very popular. We're into the second minute of added time at the end of the 90, live on TalkSport 2. It's picked up by Ramsey. Oh, the free kick's been given against Hall, and Malik Chow has come out to have a word with Bobby Madley. He's not happy about the fact that the decision has gone against his team. But it's another free kick given to West Brom on the edge of the penalty area in stoppage time.
Yeah, home fans really not happy with that decision, the referee, but Newcastle just struggled to clear their lines really on the edge. It's just a shove from Lewis Hall, and nobody really should be complaining about that. It was a foul.
Ben Davies has scored for Tottenham, 5-0 now with 5 minutes to go. And Tottenham Hotspur getting their first win of the season after what was a chastening afternoon down at Brentford. So what happens here? Malumbi's gone close with one free kick from the far side. Townsend goes across this time as well. Probably favours the left footer unless they're going to put an outswinger into the box, in which case Malumbi might lift this towards Stewart or to Campbell. But it's Townsend who delivers it towards the far post. It's a little bit too big for Stewart, who stretches but can't reach it. It goes wide of the goal and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a chance that. I mean, it was floated in, wasn't it? But just a little bit too strong. The likes of Chow just holding off the defenders who come up from the back for West Brom, Campbell and Mepham.
So it's been a busy night up and down the country. Still 0-0 in the Bradford-Burnley game. Everton 4-0 up away at Preston, and 5-0 now the margin for Tottenham over Cheltenham over on TalkSport. You'll be able to have your say on all of the night's action with Jamie. Oh no, he's not turned up tonight, and Tottenham have won. That'll be disappointing for him. Jason Cundy, and alongside him tonight in the studio, he's got the company of Charlie Austin this evening. 03717 223344 tomorrow morning. A big old packed sports breakfast on TalkSport. Ali McCoy, Gabby Agbon-Lahore, former Spurs striker Mido, and Sean Dyche live in the studio. Here is Dedic, moving up towards the edge of the area, finding Elanga. Elanga keeps hold of it in the right wing position, and travels backwards towards the halfway line, and then funnels it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Jaissle will be pretty happy with the way his team have reacted to any setbacks that they've had tonight.
Yeah, I think so. You know, that West Brom have been difficult to put away. You know, that's the story of them under Morrison. I think that they're difficult to kill off. You know, they've kept going right up until the end, and they'll still be in it. You know, they've still got 2.5 minutes left of this game, and West Brom will keep going, but Newcastle just feel like they've done enough.
Hall charges forward now, gets to the edge of the area, certainly was tripped. That's definitely going to be a free kick, and the ironic cheers from the Newcastle supporters shows you what they think of some of the decisions that might have gone against them up until now.
Yeah, I don't think they've been that bad, to be honest, but as a home crowd, that's what your job is, to complain. But some driving run by Lewis Hall, down by Amara.
That is true, isn't it? It is your job as a supporter to just cause as much pressure and anxiety as possible for those who might be working against you. And Matthias Jaissle certainly was encouraging that at the weekend. I won't be too disappointed that it's carried on tonight. Free kick then for Newcastle right at the end of the game. Actually, this foul was a little bit further on than where it's being taken from. It's about 15 yards back from the edge of the area. Visser, Hall again. And they go backwards and just keep hold of the ball as they try to run down the clock at the end of the 90 minutes. And it's going to put Newcastle United into round 3 for the 5th season running in a cup competition that they've grown to love. And they'll be hoping for another big run in the competition, although Botman has just gone up, tried to win a header, and Bobby Madley has given a foul against him. And Jaissle's come out and he is not happy. He went to sort of run towards the 4th official, then slowed himself down.
It's a foul though. I mean, they're going mad. Botman's going to cross him with his forearm, and it's a foul.
And a free kick has been given, and everybody in red has gone forward apart from Malumbi, who's going to take it from the side of the centre circle. He lifts it high into the night sky towards the back post. The header across the face of goal is from Mepham. It's loose inside the box and Wisser gets hold of it. He sends it out towards the right hand side, and then Alanga is starting to power forward. He gets up towards the halfway line. He's got Wisser in the centre. He tries to go on the outside of Bostock. Bostock drags him back, pulls him to the ground. The referee doesn't give a free kick. The linesman was standing right there. It should be a free kick and a yellow card. I can't quite believe that the referee hasn't stopped the game. And now he's decided that it's full time. And they do win the match. Newcastle go through. But the official's not stopping the game after Alanga had his shirt pulled from behind by Bostock, has caused all sorts of consternation. Eventually, they've been calmed down by their manager as they appeal to the referee. But the fact of the matter is, Newcastle are through to the next round of the competition, but they are a little bit upset with the officiating of Bobby Madley.
I don't know why the assistant didn't get it. He was right in front of the assistant who could have helped the referee. I mean, there's no harm done, and Jaissle's managed to just calm it down. He's having a conversation with Bobby Madley now, but no harm done, but it could quite well have been if it had been a few minutes earlier.
Absolutely. I mean, it was pretty blatant, wasn't it?
Why? I mean, the referee should have seen it, but why on earth has the assistant not just said, you know what, he's just pulled him back? And everybody side appealed for it. So, honestly,
crazy, absolutely crazy. But it's been a great, entertaining encounter, a 5-goal thriller. The first win of the Jaissle era is a Carabao Cup win over West Bromwich Albion. Newcastle United power through to round 3 again. A club that cherishes this cup more than most are moving on, and the Baggies are bouncing out again. It's finished 3-2. Goals all the way through the match, impressing at both ends, with Isaac Price putting West Bromwich Albion in front, only to be pegged back. Brilliant, fantastic performance by Harvey Barnes to come off the bench and score twice for Newcastle United. West Bromwich Albion got back level, only for Barnes to win it late on. There were a few skirmishes towards the end, but West Bromwich Albion have done themselves proud as well. James Morrison will know that there's little shame and little damage done here. 1 defeat in 15 now for West Bromwich Albion. The perfect start is gone, but a good start certainly intact. Bobby Madley starts to walk off the pitch. He's getting roundly brewed by those left inside St James's Park, because many believe that his officiating left something to be desired tonight. Towards the end there was 1 or 2 contentious decisions, but Newcastle came out unscathed and they win the game by 3 goals to 2. An impressive night, I think, for Newcastle United, because it just encapsulates that spirit, that fight, that entertainment and that drive that they started with on Sunday.
Yeah, it didn't all go their way, Newcastle, but they managed to come out of it on top and through to the next round. Credit should go to West Brom, because they came here and they competed with Newcastle after a little bit of a dodgy start because of the atmosphere. It's a full St James's Park and they were just getting themselves used to it, but they played their part in this. But Newcastle just had a little bit too much strength in depth on the bench. Obviously Barnes coming on and scoring 2 goals, but certainly not embarrassing themselves. In fact, I think they've just continued the performance so far this season, West Brom tonight.
Yeah, Newcastle winning by 3 goals to 2. Isaac Price got the goal scoring started after 20 minutes. Bazumana Toure on his debut getting the equaliser 6 minutes before half-time. Harvey Barnes came off the bench to put Newcastle back in front. A penalty given against Lewis Hall was converted by Isaac Price with 12 minutes to go. 4 minutes after that, Harvey Barnes was scoring again, and Newcastle United go away with the honours. A small victory as well for Newcastle tonight. Victory number 49 against Albion, who had 48 each coming in before the evening, so they've just nudged ahead in the head-to-head. And we've got some breaking transfer news in the last few minutes. Everton and Aston Villa are both interested in signing Jack Grealish on loan. TalkSport understands Manchester City sources have denied any official approach from Sunderland. That was reported earlier today for Jack Grealish, but Everton and Aston Villa both interested in taking him on loan. His contract expires at the end of the season. All of the discussions over transfers are available at talksport.com. All of the breaking news is there as well. Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs will bring you any breaking stories that happen between now and the deadline. Elsewhere tonight, they've gone to penalties at Valley Parade. Bradford 0, Burnley 0. Newcastle through after a victory over West Brom. Tottenham 5-1 winners over Charlton in a good victory for Roberto De Zerbi, with Savio on the score sheet this evening after making his debut moving from Manchester City. And a hat-trick for Tierno Barry and a goal for new signing Brennan Johnson completed a victory for Everton away at Preston 4-0. There is 5 minutes still to go in that game, but they will be going through to the next round of the competition. Excellent to have spent the last couple of nights with you, Lucy.
Yeah, it's been good, Sam. I think both good games. I think this one better, I think, than yesterday at Forest. But yeah, it's great atmosphere here.
And another bit of transfer news, an exclusive from our chief football correspondent Alex Crook. Manchester City considering a move for Everton forward Iliman Ndiaye. The Toffees value Ndiaye at around about £80 million. So I think we can see what's happening there, can't you? Ndiaye possibly going one way.
Got it.
Grealish possibly going the other. You don't have to be a mathematician to put 2 and 2 together there. But hey, these things are never linear, especially when it comes to transfers. Matthias Jaissle comes over towards this near touchline and claps the remaining Newcastle United supporters. He'll be pleased with the first 2 games he's had at St James's Park. Full of passion, full of noise, full of that feeling of belonging. The words that Sir Bobby Robson echoed around this stadium so often and now are immortalised in a banner which is draped over the Gallowgate end. It's been a fascinating night on TalkSport 2, but it's Newcastle who prevail. They're through to the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup after a 3-2 victory over West Bromwich Albion. Good night.